This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. This afternoon, a gorgeous day here in Seattle in Safeco Field. The Cardinals looking to avoid the sweep. It's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Seattle Mariners. And with Al Rabowski and Scott Warman, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Delighted to have you with us for Sunday afternoon baseball. The final game of this three-game set. Cardinals looking to avoid the sweep, and they'll turn to Jaime Garcia.
Starting pitching is always so important. They set the tone, and Jaime's going to have to come out here, and we should know pretty quick whether he's on. If you start seeing ground ball after ground ball, we know he's on. They're very tough, the Mariners. They've hit the most home runs against left-handed pitching in the major leagues this year. So let's hope Jaime's got the ground ball going.
All right, we'll see if that carries over to today. Jaime Garcia gets the call this afternoon for St. Louis. It's a look at our Budweiser What's on Tap. The lefty is 3-1 on the road this season, and baseball is coming up.
The MLB All-Star Game, July 12th on Fox.
Jim Hayes with a Bomberito Sports Update. Cubs down in Miami, bottom 7. Christian Yelich, a liner up the middle, 1-run scores, and the Marlins extend their lead to 3-1. Last check, still 3-1 Mariners, bottom of the 8th. Cubs have dropped 5 of 6. Coming up, it's the Cardinals and Mariners. Enjoy the ball game.
Greater coverage of Major League Baseball presented by T-Mobile. Steven Strasburg put on the DL for Washington. Clayton Kershaw is tied in the National League for wins with 11 with Jake Arrieta and Johnny Cueto. He'll go tonight against a rookie of the Pittsburgh Pirates in Sunday Night Baseball. Albert Pujols, home run in his last 2 games. He recently passed Harmon Killebrew, 574 career home runs. Number 11 on the all-time list. Beautiful day here in Seattle, and baseball comes your way next. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Bud Light Live, by Chevrolet. Visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealer for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Beautiful look at Elliott Bay here in Seattle. And here at Safeco Field, the roof is open. Sun is shining brightly. A perfect day for baseball.
Let's hope the Cardinals can make it a perfect game for themselves. They need a little help today.
Well, the Cardinals have dropped 2 straight. Right now, 38-35 this year, 3 games above the 500 mark. Seattle with the win last night. They are 38-37. And both these teams start play today 10 games back in their respective divisions. Matt Carpenter leads it off, followed by Aledmys Diaz and Matt Holliday. Then Stephen Piscotty, Brandon Moss, Jed Jerko gets the start at third, Tommy Pham, then Colton Wong, and the catcher Eric Fryer. On the mound, it's a 27-year-old left-hander, very good in his last start against Detroit. As he pitched into the 8th, he has struck out 34 in just 29 innings of work this year. That's James Paxton.
He's had some injuries in the past. It's altered his motion, and they found a better slot for him now. And they say he can hit triple digits.
And the first pitch is taken for a ball, and we're underway.
He left spring training, and he was throwing about 91 miles an hour. But then he changed his arm slot. Instead of straight over the top and throwing downhill, he's more 3/4. Like that. And they said they've rushed it up to 100 miles an hour. But a lot of times people say that it doesn't go as fast as you would think. His 100 is more like 95, and you can see his Hyundai pitch arsenal right there. A lot of fastballs, a lot of cutters.
Fouled back by Carpenter. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Something as simple as a finger can complicate the life of a pitcher. Strained his middle finger tendon in late May of last season, then tore a fingernail in his 3rd start back and was shut down for the year. He's dealt with injuries in back-to-back seasons. A little check swing and a foul ball. When healthy, he was effective. 12 of his 29 earned runs came in 2 different starts. So if you take those 2 out, he had an ERA just over 2 in his other 11. But he did struggle a little bit with his control. 3 walks per 9 a year ago.
Yeah, they say that a couple games have gotten his numbers a little skewed. Many times he's left runners on and they've been scored with a reliever on the mound. But charge to Paxton.
And the 1-2. Taken inside. Calling the balls and strikes today, Carlos Torres. Rob Drake is at first. Sam Holbrook at second. Jerry Davis down at third.
After set up away, rarely you will get that call on the inside part of the plate.
The 2-2.
It seems like he's all arms and legs. He's 6'4", 225, but it looks like, you know, he's just a lot of arms and legs. Throws pretty much in the middle of the rubber, and like all left-handers, throws across his body a bit.
3-2 pitch, and Carpenter hits it out to deep center. Martinez back at the wall and can make the play. Matt on his way to second. Now on his way to third. It's a leadoff triple. The 5th triple this year for Matt Carpenter.
On base, extra bases, all kinds of things. Matt just climbs the leaderboard in the National League and runs scored. Hopefully he will do that with Diaz at the plate. But Matt Carpenter definitely the table setter.
The AT&T high-speed replay. Once that ball was down, he's off to the races. Nearly caught by Martin in center. Play in front of him. He makes the choice to go to third. It was the right one.
And when they bobbled the relay throw, overthrew the initial cutoff man, it guaranteed him to get to third base.
Last night, Aledmys Diaz became just the 9th Cardinal to reach 10 home runs before his 70th major league game. Now has 10 this year. And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
See, defensively, they're conceding the run. A lot of times you start playing the infield in, trying to play for that one run. You're setting yourself up for a crooked number.
Aledmys very good on the road. One of the top averages in all of baseball away from home. Checks in at the start of play today at 355.
Good road trip too. 412 with 2 home runs.
The 2-1. Driven out to right center. That's well hit. Martin can't get to it. One hops over the wall. Ground rule double. Aledmys Diaz in a 1-0 St. Louis lead.
Well, we always talk about on the West Coast how at nighttime a little cooler air, the ball gets knocked down a bit, but during the day the ball will fly. Good examples for the first 2 hitters. A triple by Carpenter, now Diaz with a ground rule double. And of course our keys to the game, Toyota keys to the game, get a lead and add on. Cardinals really last night couldn't overcome the 5 runs they gave up in the first 2 innings, lost 5-4, but just keep on punishing.
Holiday picked up the first RBI in the game last night, a bases loaded single. That point made it 5-1. Then Diaz hit a 3-run homer to make it 5-4, and that was the final. He is 1 home run shy of 150 in his Cardinals uniform. Be the 12th Cardinal with 150 home runs. Overall with 13 this year, and he's driven in 42. A lot of room on the right side. Cano trying to keep Diaz close at second base. And the 0-2. Struck him out. Holiday strikes out for the 46th time this year. Defensively, O'Malley is in left. Martin is in center. Gutierrez, normally a DH or comes off the bench. He gets a start today in right. Seager, Marte, Cano, and Leal on the infield. And Chris Iannetta is behind the plate. Around the horn presented by Dobbs. Should get a look at Scott Service, manager here with the Mariners. Here's Stephen Piscotty hitting .468 with runners in scoring position. You think back to last night, a key play in the game, bases loaded after the single by Holiday. Piscotty hit a screamer right to Robinson Cano, and that ball was caught. The threat was through. Cardinals had a couple of chances to tack on and just couldn't do it. Steven has been very good against left-handed pitching this year. One of the top hitters in all of baseball against the Southpaws at .381 with an average.
And the Cardinals as a whole are not very good at hitting left-handed pitching. And the one thing about Paxton, we saw it with Holiday's at bat, and not afraid to work inside to the right-handed batters.
1 ball and 2 strikes on the Cardinals right fielder. Cardinals have been playing in very tight games. 7 of the last 8 have been decided by just 1 run, and St. Louis has won only 2 of those.
That's tough. And last year they were so good in close games.
Scotty held up, evens it up at 2-2. So there it is, starting with Texas and then the sweep at Chicago, and the Cardinals have dropped the first 2 here in Seattle. On to Kansas City, first of 4 tomorrow. 2 in Kansas City and then 2 in St. Louis. The 2-2 strikes out Piscotty. Get a pretty good idea of this velocity of the fastball to throw 2 right by Holiday and Piscotty, back-to-back at bats.
Ball up is always tough to catch up to. Moss is 2 for 2 and a home run off of Paxton. Paxton did face the Cardinals one time back in 2013 in St. Louis and pitched 6 shutout innings.
Slugging percentage this month for Brandon Moss is an eye-popping .821. That is the highest slugging percentage of anybody in all of Major League Baseball here in the month of June. Talked with Matt Adams today. He was available to pinch hit last night. Was in the starting lineup, then a late scratch on Friday night with a sore back. So Moss played that night, had a couple of doubles as he moved to first base. There's a look at Matt, who is available to pinch hit today. It's unfortunate with the DH. You want to get him some at bats, you want to get him rolling, but with the sore back he could not play.
I know Holiday DHing, you know, it's been almost a half day off, not having to play in the field, but I thought he could have used a rest. So you're right, would have been a golden opportunity to get another left-handed bat in there.
The 2-1 misses low. 3 balls 1 strike on Brandon Moss. Jed Jerko is filling in for Johnny Peralta today, is on deck. Inning started with a triple by Carpenter, opposite field double by Diaz and an RBI, then back-to-back strikeouts. And now a walk. 21st walk for Brandon Moss this year, and it brings in Jerko, who again before the game today was talking about those affected with the flooding in West Virginia. Morgantown, the home of the Mountaineers, and mentioned last night the PGA has canceled the Greenbrier Classic. That was their next stop on tour. Our thoughts are with those folks and with many of the family and friends of Jed Jerko. Runners at first and second. 2 outs here in the top of the first. That pitch is in the dirt. Odd road to the big leagues for James Paxton. He was drafted 37th overall by the Blue Jays in 2009. Did not sign. NCAA ruled that he was ineligible stemming from his contact with agent Scott Boras. Now you can have an advisor but not an agent. So he could not pitch his senior year. As Jerko skies one into center, shading from the sun, Martin. And he makes the catch. We had to battle the sun. A beautiful day here in Seattle. Cardinals pick up a run. Al mentioned in the open, this is a Mariners club that hits for a lot of power. Marte will lead it off, followed by Gutierrez, and then Robinson Cano with 19 home runs. Nelson Cruz serves as the DH. Kyle Seager, Dae-Hei Lowe, Chris Iannetta, Martin, and O'Malley. Starting 9 for the Mariners against Jaime Garcia. Last pitched on Monday at Wrigley Field, gave up 2 runs in 6 2/3. And that was a win against the Chicago Cubs.
Always seems like he loves pitching during the day. Pitched well on the road this year. He's got a lead. Now keep it.
1-0 Cardinals on back-to-back extra base hits. And a strike to Ketel Marte, switch hitting shortstop. Now time is called. You watch before games, the Mariners, when they're playing catch, just getting loose. He's always playing catch with Robinson Cano. That was his favorite player growing up. A single into center field. Marte with 8 stolen bases this year. There's a look at Colton Wong. He's in left field. Tommy Pham in center. Piscotty is in right. Jerko, Diaz, Carpenter, and Moss on the infield. Fryer is behind the plate. Cardinals have committed just 8 errors here in the month of June. 3rd fewest in all of baseball. And it's important to note that Garcia is a ground ball pitcher. 58% of what he gets in play are on the ground. So the Cardinals defense has to be ready to go today.
And Dan, that's why we talk about if he's getting his ground balls, you know he's going to have a good game. Usually when he keeps the ball down, you know, he has good movement on it. Very tough to center the baseball. And you see St. Louis, the fewest errors there are amongst the teams in June, but they led the major leagues in errors in April and May. So good turnaround.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Franklin Gutierrez. Instead of check on the runner Marte. Yadier Molina the day off. Eric Fryer is behind the plate. He has caught 4 of 6 base stealers against him this year. He's done a really nice job.
Got a lot of power against left-handed pitching. The Mariners lead the major leagues with home runs against left-handed pitching.
Well, granted that Mike Leake wasn't sharp last night. A lot of hard hit balls. But if a couple of plays are made behind him, most notable was the ball that was hit to Johnny Peralta at third. Could have been an inning-ending double play, and then maybe a different line for Mike Leake last night. His shortest outing as a Cardinal so far.
And not only that play, but a couple of them where the defense betrayed him, you know, with shifts.
The 2-0. 2 balls and 1 strike. Pitching staff saw their quality streak snapped at 13 in a row. Leake's shortest outing since joining the Cardinals at 3 1/3. However, second longest relief appearance for Tyler Lyons in his career. 1 hit, 2 walks, didn't allow a Mariner to get past second base through 58 pitches. Just wonder, after seeing something like that, does Mike Matheny put more of those high leverage situations late in games, tight ball games, lefty-lefty matchups in the hands of Tyler Lyons?
Well, I think you got to at least put him in that consideration and think about it too, Dan, because sometimes now you're wanting to save Segrist for a possible 9th inning.
Base hit into left center. Marte racing to third, and it's back-to-back hits for Seattle here in the bottom of the first.
And Diaz playing in the hole at shortstop, and that ball more up the middle hit very hard, so Diaz had no chance to go to his left and knock it down. Gutierrez almost relegated to pinch hitting duty or starting against left-handed pitchers.
Robinson Cano, 247 home runs, all in the American League. Most ever by an American League second baseman. Recently passed Joe Gordon. Played for the Yankees and the Indians. Late 30s through the early 50s.
One of 6 players with at least 1,000 runs scored and 1,000 RBIs through their first 12 seasons. Slow start last year, but part of it was due to injury, abdominal injuries. And
strike one. Kubota power stats. A look at the home run leaders for the Seattle Mariners. Cano at 19, Cruz 18, Seager with 15. Lynn picked up number 11 on Friday night, the walk-off against Trevor Rosenthal. And Martin has got great speed too with 11 home runs.
And think about Lee, the big Korean first baseman. He's got 10 home runs and 137 at bats.
Here's the 0-1. Now 0-2.
Time he keeps that ball down. He's got great movement. But you got to locate your pitches. Fastball in that last time. Does it set up something soft away, or do you repeat it and go back inside?
Here's the 0-2. Tied him up. Gets the strikeout. A big one of Robinson Cano here in the first.
Strike 2 and 3, the same pitch. Instead of going away, it came right back in there, and you can see the movement once again. When he keeps the ball down, the ball just runs. Very difficult to set it up in our Hyundai pitch arsenal. Good running fastball. He's got the cutter. He's got the change. He's got a curveball. Changeup, he almost turns over. Looks like a screwball a lot to the right-handed batters.
Now it's Nelson Cruz hitting .282, 18 home runs, driven in 49. Runners at the corners with one out. Cardinals using a shift here. Second baseman Matt Carpenter near the bag at second. Third baseman Jerko is near the line. Diaz just about at normal shortstop depth, if you will, if there's anything that's normal about defenses anymore. Good pitch. Turned it over there. That's that pitch you're talking about.
Right. I mean, it just change up and everything, but he has that movement where a lot of times it just goes away from the right-hander, but with that good movement away, changes with the deception and velocity.
Garcia would love the double play. The 1-1 pitch taken just a bit high. A lot of talk in the offseason about the designated hitter potentially moving to the National League. No more in this offseason with the current collective bargaining agreement coming up at the end of 2016. And
I think that'd be a big mistake.
I do too.
The game is much better the way it's played in the National League.
There's your broken back. Garcia to second, low throw. Carpenter to first, safe.
We'll see if this one's not reviewed. David Bell went immediately right down to the telephone to find out if they missed the play at first base. Garcia should be out of the inning. Watch his throw. Takes a crow hop, does everything, but he throws a sinker right down there. Tough play for Carpenter. He gets it, but then he had to double clutch it and to make the exchange. Danny says he's safe. So does David Bell in the video.
The only person to blame on this one is Jaime Garcia.
Yeah. Yep. You know, just throwing that ball in the dirt, you know, you're expecting something chest high, and then you never miss a beat. But when you throw it right at the bag, Carpenter did a nice job to get the force out at second, but it really disrupted his timing and his throw back to first.
So Cruz is your runner at first base, and it brings in Kyle Seager. Good breaking ball, drops in for his strike. First innings have been a real issue for Garcia. 10 of his 35 earned runs coming into play have come in the first inning. After that, it's an ERA above 3 the rest of the way. Little squibber that rolls foul to Manny Acta, former manager of the Cleveland Indians, then did some TV work. Now the third base coach for Seattle. So it's a fielder's choice. It goes 1-4, and Cruz picks up RBI number 50 this year to drive in Marte.
Cruz and Seager have been trying to battle for a second spot in the RBI race for the Mariners. Cano leads with 53. Now Cruz is second with 50, and Seager's got 49.
The 1-2 pitch, and a foul ball. Last two pair of brothers with 15 home runs each this point in a season. Corey and Kyle Seager, Brett and Aaron Boone back in 2003. Aaron Boone, that was the year he began in the NL Central with the Cincinnati Reds, then traded to the New York Yankees and finished off as a postseason hero with his Game 7 walk-off homer against Tim Wakefield. There's Colton Wong in left field, and he puts it away. Mariners tie it up, and it's 1-1 as we head to inning number 2. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Out-of-market games wherever you may be in high definition. Visit MLB.TV for details. 1-1 our score as Tommy Pham will lead it off. 7, 8, and 9 for the Cardinals here in the top of inning number 2. Pham is 2 for 12 since being called up and looks at a strike.
Margie and Herschel Price are watching back home, and Margie, please resend your text to me. Since Dan can't show me how to technically get it back, I think I accidentally erased it.
Any other personal messages you need to get out?
Well, she twice sent me a message about her grandsons. 2 of them are here. I got to get it out there. I promised her. You know how that works.
Popped up off the bat of Pham into shallow center. Robinson Cano makes the catch. And it brings in Colton Wong. Eric Fryer on deck. Wong is hitting .231, home run and 6 RBIs. Big happy birthday to young lady I met on the Cardinals cruise a couple of years ago. Helen Glisson, happy birthday. Watching Cardinals baseball.
See, you know what I'm talking about.
She never misses a cruise. We're not going to miss her birthday.
Long swinging the bat a lot better since he's come back up and feels much better about his swing.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Got a hit in the first 2 games of this series and 5 for 15 on the road trip.
Cardinals have asked him about the outfield now about a week into this, and he said he prefers left field. He's fine in center, but a little bit more comfortable in left. Maybe seeing a lot of that from Colton Wong as he strokes a single into center field. 3rd hit for the Cardinals today.
Oh, remember, Colton took batting practice. They asked him to take batting practice in left field on Friday, thinking about maybe late inning defensive replacement, just to give him another option for Mike Matheny. And then he started last night's game and finds himself in left field again today.
Talked to John Mozeliak, the Cardinals GM, before the game, and Brian Pena, his rehab assignment is up after the game today in Springfield. The Cardinals then officially would have to make a move on Tuesday night. Wong thought about going to third. He'll stop there. So what you have 20 days, and then tomorrow, this being the 20th, tomorrow would be a travel day for Pena, so it gives you an extra 24 hours, and then they'd have to make a corresponding move by the game on Tuesday night with Brian Pena.
Well, but I'll tell you one thing, Eric Pryor has done nothing to disappoint anyone. He's hit .316 in his starts prior to that base hit. Done an outstanding job, and you know those at bats don't come very frequent for him now.
Here's Carpenter. He has been on a tear. Runners at first and second. Tripled to start today and scored the only run for the Cardinals. Fantasy camp at Busch Stadium wrapped up today, and our good buddy Joe Pfeiffer, who runs those camps, tells us that Team Willie McGee, Woody Williams, and Gary Bennett Fantasy Camp Championship. Carpenter out to deep right center. Will he carry? It's at the wall, and it is caught. Gutierrez, a tremendous catch in right field up against the wall.
It's a long way away for us, but it looked like he reached over the wall to make that catch. I think would have hit on the top and bounced back in, but still a very nice play. Get a look at it here, just a high towering drive. Gutierrez goes all the way back and then jumps up, and you see the glove up on the yellow line.
Wow, what a play.
Yeah, nice play. Good base running by Wong. He knew that was either going to be a home run where he could have walked around the bases, or as it was caught, he was able to tag up and go to third.
Here's Diaz. By the way, there are spots for that fantasy camp coming up in January. Cardinals.com/fantasy camp for future camps. Be a couple coming up in January, and always a lot of fun.
And Fryer, as the trail runner, he was almost at second base, could stepped on second if the play were not made in right field, but then he had to race back as Wong went to third.
If you ever wondered about a fantasy camp, read the Post-Dispatch today, an article by Benjamin Hockman as he participated in this week's camp, and it gives you a good idea of what it's all about. Not just the component of playing baseball, but being able to be around the former big leaguers, and also the charitable component of raising money for sick kids. It's well done.
Dan, you've participated the last couple of years down in Florida in that camp. If you can play, it just maybe enhances it, but it has nothing to do with your playing ability. The most fun is going to be the camaraderie with the players, you know, when you're sitting in that locker room, the morning meetings are undescribable. We have family TV, but they are some of the funniest things you'll ever imagine, and just a great time. If you're a Cardinal fan, you have to do it at least once.
Mentioned that Paxton had to go back to Kentucky after he did not sign because he was dealing with Scott Boras. He thought he'd be able to pitch his senior year, ruled ineligible, had to go to independent baseball, the Grand Prairie Airhawks. The next season he dropped to the 4th round and then was taken by Seattle after being a 37th overall pick. Turn him loose on 3-0.
It is, you know, it is kind of ridiculous. You know, the difference between an agent and an advisor. I mean, it's the same thing.
Agreed.
The guy might be sitting in your house in another room, and team makes an offer, you go run and throw it by your advisor.
3-2 the count on Diaz, who doubled into the gap in right center first time up. Picked up his 40th RBI. Well, Fryer, as we've seen, not only has he done a nice job behind the plate, he can run a little bit too. He's off with this pitch, the 3-2. And Diaz hits it foul. Three-two pitch again. Strikeout of Diaz. Third strikeout for James Paxton, and the Cardinals nearly picked up 3. They don't pick up any. 1-1 in the bottom of the second. We check in with Scott Warman.
All right, Danny, thanks so much. You know, you guys were talking about it last night. John Mabry, the Cardinals hitting coach, had a couple of stints here in Seattle as a member of the Mariners. In fact, you go back to 99-2000, played with a couple of good players, including Edgar Martinez. And he says he takes a lot of what Edgar taught him as a player here in Seattle, moving forward what he teaches a lot of his hitters. He also said because he became such a versatile player with the Cardinals, that extended his career. And he said, I think that's more important than ever before for a player now in this day and age to be very a player like him to extend their career, and we see a lot of versatility with this Cardinals team this season.
Well, you mentioned Edgar Martinez as you get a look at Dae-Ho Lee. This stayed in Mariners history. Martinez picked up a double back in 2003. Moved past Ken Griffey Jr. with that double. All-time in Mariners history. He's a leader in RBI, games played, at bats, hits, doubles, total bases, runs, walks, extra base hits. Not bad.
Got a street name right after him, just outside the ballpark. But he was an outstanding hitter, and they say even a better person.
1-2 pitch. There's Edgar's. That's beyond the left field wall down the line. Entire 18-year career with the Seattle Mariners. 2-time batting champion, All-Star 7 times, 5 Silver Sluggers. You need 75% to get into the Hall of Fame in terms of the votes. The most he's received, 43%. So it doesn't look like he's headed to the Hall.
No, and I think his numbers do fall short.
Out to right, Piscotty off his glove. Lead is second. And how in the world is he not at third base?
Didn't run. Or didn't really want one, because Piscotty went a long way, goes off his glove, and goes to dive for it, goes right off the end of his glove, and had to scramble up, go retrace it, get it at the wall. And you're right, if he wanted to, he should have had a triple.
What makes you think about a base hit? Cardinals certainly would have a chance to throw him out. So leadoff double by Lee, second double this year. And I think about the throws for Colton Wong. You know, here's a guy with a pretty strong arm. We'll see how that arm translates to the outfield, but it's a different throw. Second baseman, a lot of times you're 3/4, if not kind of slinging the ball over to first base, and you're in left field or any outfield position, you're more long and over the top.
An easier throw. A lot of times people think second base, there's so many, it's so close to first, you really don't have any trouble with long throws. But how many times you racing out to the outfield and have to jump and turn around and throw the ball? Here, more times than not, he'll be coming in and making a throw from left field.
1-1 strike on Chris Iannetta. Good play again by Fryer to keep it in front.
Eric Fryer, you know, usually when you talk about a backup catcher, you want a guy that can catch and throw. He can do that extremely well. We've seen that he's keeps himself in great shape. He's got really good running speed for a catcher, and he's been an offensive force. He got a couple hits last night late in the ball game, but there was only 2 hits on the road trip. Definitely needs a breather.
Broken bat, and it's lined to Jed Jerko. That bat wound up flying to the backstop. That's the first out. Well, Scott was also talking about in his report about the versatility of a player, and Colton Wong certainly could be a defensive replacement in games. Get his speed if he gets more and more comfortable with the outfield.
Well, I mean, that's the problem. Where today we talk about carrying extra pitchers. The Cardinals only have a 4-man bench. The Mariners have only 3-man bench because they're carrying an extra reliever, 8 relievers. But if you're playing just one position, you better be awfully good.
Here's Martin.
And that's what at times that keeps Adams out of the lineup, because he can only, he can only play first base. And now Colton adding the outfield positions increases his velocity and probably playing time.
Had him out in front, and it's popped out. Fryer gives it a look, and it's out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike on Martin. He was a shortstop in the baseball academies in Cuba, then shifted to the outfield by his dad, who was his coach in a league that is the equivalent of a low minor league system game. Recently, 3 men were indicted for the extortion of Cuban players, and one of those that was involved in that is the young man at the plate. He was held at gunpoint. Family was held hostage for months. Hits it off the end of the bat. Diaz to first, no play. That's his former teammate at short, Aledmus Diaz. The point being of the story, pretty amazing to see what some of these guys go through just to get to the United States, much less to Major League Baseball.
I think the first time we heard of any kind of those shenanigans or illegal, trafficking was with Puig. It came out a little bit with him, and then they kind of hushed it up. But as you're saying now, they kind of opened a can of worms with some indictments. And what they would do is, help get you to escape, get you to the United States, and then you owed them a percentage of your future earnings.
Sean O'Malley. One-0 pitch. Take it for a ball inside.
O'Malley's a local product. He spent parts of 11 seasons in the minor leagues.
Out of Southridge High School.
Split this last year between AAA Tacoma and Seattle.
Runners at first and second. 2-0 pitch. Hit off the end of the bat, and a fly ball that carries Wong into the gap in left center. Ground rule double. Run does score. That's lead to give the Mariners a 2-1 lead here in inning number 2.
Cardinals catch a break with Martin having to go stay at third base on the ground rule double. Down and in, just dropped the bat head. I think they wanted that pitch away.
Back to the top of the lineup in Marte. Runners at second and third. The infield is drawn in. Mention how Marte grew up idolizing Robinson Cano. Cano, when he was with the Yankees, idolized Bernie Williams. And he said the way that Bernie Williams treated him, he would always treat others. And he said it's been a very special relationship between the two. Really helped him out at this level. Chops it foul, 0-2.
Yeah, they really like this kid and his high ceiling. A switch hitter. 290 plus from the left side and 244 from this side.
The 0-2. That's what he needed there, a strikeout. Fryer applies the tag. It's called by home plate umpire Carlos Torres. Second strikeout for Jaime Garcia. Now the infield can move back.
Last year, the Cardinal pitchers were so good in these situations, stranding runners in scoring position. That's why they were so effective in close ball games, because they just cut off those rallies. Didn't have the big crooked numbers all the time. And that's what Garcia has to do here. He got the strikeout for out number 2. Now strand those two in scoring position with the third out.
The shift is on for Franklin Gutierrez. 2 outs and 2 on. Gutierrez did not play the entire year, the entire season of 2014. He has a severe nerve condition in his hips, really restricts his movement, and you'll see him step out, stretch, always moving to stay loose. He made a fantastic catch, the ball that was hit by Carpenter back in the top of the second. Garcia gave up 2 singles in the first inning, 3 hits in this inning. He struck out 2. He's not walked a man, and the Cardinals trail 2-1.
In 2010, he had a perfect season defensively. He had 415 total chances and no errors. So that play made in right field is very capable.
Little tapper hit up the third base line, and it's foul. Indians over the Tigers today, 9-3. That was against Justin Verlander. Indians have won 9 straight. Cleveland started play today with a 5-game lead in the American League Central over Kansas City, and we'll see them tomorrow night.
With the pitching we saw last year from Cleveland, you can understand why they could go on winning streaks. Good block by Fryer.
Outfield is straight away. Shift is on the left side for Franklin Gutierrez. And he walked him. Bases loaded for Robinson Cano. Be interesting to see how Garcia approaches this at bat with Cano. First time up, busted him in, and he was able to strike him out for his first strikeout of the afternoon.
Cano hitting 240 against left-handed pitching.
It on a couple of hops to Carpenter, and the Mariners strand. The bases loaded. We played 2. Seattle is on top. St. Louis Cardinals baseball from Seattle is brought to you by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. And brought to you by the Missouri Tobacco Quit line. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Matt Holliday will lead it off. 2-1 Seattle in the top of the 3rd. It's Holliday, Piscotty, and Moss. Matt struck out first time up. Brother head coach at Oklahoma State. They fell short in the College World Series. Arizona defeated Oklahoma State 5-1 to advance to the final of the College World Series, and they'll face Coastal Carolina. They beat TCU.
So this has just been a terrible weekend. Cardinal players, their alma maters, and losing 2 up here.
0-2 pitch and a foul ball. It's really been an odd year. Last 13 games, Cardinals 6-0 against Chicago and Pittsburgh inside the division. Yet they are 0-7 against the American League West. They've lost 7 in a row in interleague play. Hit to the right side and taken by Lee. Last time they lost 8 in a row in interleague play was championship season of 2006.
If we have to lose today and we end up winning the World Championship, I think we'll all be happy. But think about in between these losses in interleague play, we sweep Pittsburgh and Chicago. Played so well against them on the road.
Here's Piscotty. Struck out his first time up. Big gap in left center.
Chicago loses again to Fernandez and the Marlins.
Final there was 6-1. Miami beats the Chicago Cubs. Jose Fernandez, 6th straight double-digit strikeout game. That's now a Marlins record. Velasco had done that twice in his career with Miami. He did it 5 times, and today Fernandez breaks the record with 6.
And I guess we'll hear the controversy of when do we shut him down, coming back off of Tommy John.
See the Marlins coming up. 3-2 on Piscotty. Reds beat the Padres 3-0. Jay Bruce with a home run in that game. Speaking of home runs, the Twins, they hit 6 of them in a 7-1 win over the Yankees.
Were they didn't they hit, was it 7 yesterday or so and lost the game? It was one of our
It was the White Sox.
The White Sox. 7 home runs and lose.
And it's a walk to Piscotty. Second walk issued by James Paxton, who's from British Columbia. Canadian born. His parents, he said, weren't too keen on the idea of getting up for 5 a.m. practices to go play hockey, so he gravitated towards the sport of baseball. Moss walked his first time up. And that ball gets away, and Piscotty moves into scoring position, just in and out of the glove of Iannetta.
Pass ball, and Piscotty was alert to it, gets himself in scoring position.
1-1. Hit to the right side. It's the shortstop cutting in front of Cano. That's Marte to get the out. Advancing to third. Piscotty. So 6-3 on the putout, and it brings in Jed Jerko. Jerko came up in the first with runners at first and second and flied out to center field. One thing is for certain for the Cardinals, they have to play better at home. And coming up after the 2 games in Kansas City, Cardinals will play the next 19 of 22 at Busch Stadium.
They're going to have to take advantage of that. And I'm sure they will. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason why they haven't played well at home. They always do.
Tomorrow night, Adam Wainwright against Danny Duffy. Wainwright is 6-4. Duffy is 2-1. Tuesday night in Kansas City, Michael Wacha coming off a very good start against the Cubs against Yordano Ventura. Ventura is 6-4, and Wacha is 3-7, and it seems like his timing and mechanics are finally right.
Yeah, I think so.
Gutierrez under it, and he makes the catch. Cardinals strand a runner. They have left 5 on through 3. Midway through 3, Seattle on top. It's 2-1. Cardinals Insider gives you a behind-the-scenes view of the Cardinals with news, features, and more. Lindsey Weber and Ron Waterman put this show together. They'll recap Matt Carpenter's Pro Clinic, sit down with scouting director and former pitcher Randy Flores. Cardinals Insider, really good show, brought to you by your Mid-America Chevy dealers. And you can find that after the game right here on Fox Sports Midwest.
Congratulations to Randy Flores and his staff. By all accounts, they did a great job with the draft.
I saw some reports put their draft in the top 3 in all of baseball.
I don't see where the Perez pick was that controversial. You know, obviously the best player on the board. 17 years of age. I wouldn't want to think every decision I made was the right one.
And he's off to a good start, really swinging the bat well. His pro debut, he had a couple of hits, including a triple. Next day, he had 2 more hits.
And they say that's the part that's lacking, offense.
We focus so much on, you know, the draft choices, but once they're in the system, it's about developing those players. As you get a look at Nelson Cruz, here's a 2-1 pitch. Gary LaRocque and his staff do a terrific job. Right center. Pham on the move. He'll look up and it's gone. Opposite field home run. Nelson Cruz with number 19.
We talked about it. The Mariners lead major leagues in home runs against left-handed pitching. Garcia doesn't give up a lot of home runs, but he got him here. It's the 7th home run that Garcia's allowed.
Nelson Cruz coming out back-to-back 40 home run seasons. Turns 36 a few days on July 1st. Had 44 a year ago. First Mariner since A-Rod to do that back in 2000. Ken Griffey Jr. 40 home runs. He did it 6 different times.
I'm talking about the Seager brothers. How about the fact that Ken Griffey Jr. played here with his father?
Right.
They were back-to-back in the batting order, and I know one time they hit back-to-back home runs. How about that? Playing with your son.
Not as good as it gets. Two balls and no strikes, and Kyle Seager.
We all remember Griffey's 500th home run. It was hit in St. Louis on Father's Day with his dad in attendance. His dad was getting worn out traveling.
Junior was the first pick in 1987, 13 years with Seattle. Ground ball that's hit to Carpenter. And even though he requested a trade to the Reds to be closer to home, he'll wear a Mariners cap into the Hall of Fame. Payne Stewart passed away, and he was very close with Payne Stewart. And
yeah, they were neighbors down in Orlando.
he said that opened his eyes that there's more to than just the professional sports, and he wanted to be closer to home. Home, as Al said, made in Orlando, so we went back to a hometown team for him, which was the Cincinnati Reds.
And then he ended his career with a cameo here with Seattle, and to try to say, hey, it all started here. I think of this as my second home, and I'm going to go into the Hall of Fame as a Mariner.
Center field, Pham can't get there. It was 1992 that Tom Seaver was inducted into baseball's Hall of Fame. He got 98.84% of the vote, which was at the time the best ever until this last offseason. And Ken Griffey Jr. got 99.32% of the vote. And his number 24 has been officially retired at all levels of the Mariners system. No minor leaguers will wear that number. Nobody at this level will wear that number either.
But isn't that kind of silly that no one's ever gotten on everybody's ballot? You know, how do you,
it's a joke.
How do you sit there and say, okay, I'm not going to vote for him? You know, what if everybody else take that same attitude, and you have a true Hall of Famer like Griffey Jr. and
you're not going to vote for Derek Jeter?
Well, it's automatic when you start talking about guys that played for the Yankees.
But I mean, 100% of the vote.
Well, I mean, if Babe Ruth didn't get it, Hank Aaron didn't get it.
Just the point being, it's
Williams and Maggio and Musial. It is.
Now, many times what you'll hear from writers is they'll say, well, I didn't use it for this year because I know that player is going to get in anyway, so I'm going to use the vote on a player that's borderline. That's why they don't get to 100%.
And also, Dan, you can vote up to 10 players. So how do you say I'm going to vote? I'm going to not vote for a surefire Hall of Famer and then vote for a borderline guy?
To me, what's interesting is that if you look back when Ken Griffey Jr. was traded to Cincinnati, that was the year that the Cardinals acquired our colleague Jim Edmonds. A high fly ball into left center. Pham calling for it, and he makes the catch. And by all accounts, looking at the numbers between the two and the injury factor for the two, and compare them in St. Louis and Cincinnati, Jim Edmonds was the better player. But overall, Ken Griffey Jr. clearly great numbers. But for Edmonds not to be on the ballot anymore, I don't understand that either. I'm not saying he should be in. I do think he's very, very close, if not in. But not to be on the ballot doesn't make a lot of sense.
I think we were all shocked when he got less than 5%, and he got half of that. What, 2.5%? But I think a lot of that might have had to do early in his career when he was with the Angels. A lot more media out there, and they saw that aspect of Jimmy as he was, maturing as a player. But he was outstanding in St. Louis. I always said Jimmy was, if he wanted to play, he was in the top 5 of players in his era.
Two and 0.
And the same thing, with Ted Simmons, didn't stay on a ballot. Another guy, Al Oliver, great hitter in the 70s, and batting championships, and couldn't stay on the ballot.
3-0 on Martin with 2 outs and a runner at first. Up and in. Well, you look at what Tyler Lyons did for the Cardinals last night, and it plays into what we may see here today, which could be a short outing for Jaime Garcia. At the moment, not very sharp, already at 63 pitches, and we're only in the third.
And Dan, we talk about you know, in the open, we talk about his ability to get ground balls. If he gets ground balls, you know, you're going to know he's on. He hasn't gotten that many ground balls today. And fly balls, the outfield.
It's been 2 ground ball outs.
Yeah.
So runners at first and second for the 9th place hitter, Sean O'Malley. Mentioned he's a local product out of Kennewick, Washington. It's about 3.5 hours away from here. Fryer has a play at third, throws there, and save. The Cardinals will take a long look at that one.
It seemed like the throw beat him. Strong throw by Fryer. Jerko was right there with a tag, but did he get it in front of the bag? And now Mike wants to challenge this one.
This could be a huge play where the Mariners run themselves right out of the inning.
They get the tag down in time. Throw was obviously beat him. That angle, it looks like he's out.
I think he may be safe.
I thought the first one was safe because he didn't get the tag down. That one, and of course you were seeing it from behind. You couldn't tell really when the he just showed one on the big board, and I think he's the Cardinal players are starting to walk off, but I think from that replay the crowd reacted thinking he's safe. Jerry Davis, the crew chief, made the call over at third. Jerko just didn't put the tag down.
Wow. Call is overturned. The Cardinals take it. Mariners run themselves out of the inning. American Girl and the Cardinals teaming up on Monday, July 18th for an exciting theme night at the ballpark. Fans who purchase a special theme ticket receive a Cardinals baseball t-shirt for their American Girl doll and a special offer from the American Girl store in St. Louis. Theme tickets now. They're on sale at cardinals.com/theme. Here's Tommy Pham. Leads it off here in inning number 4. It's 3-1 Seattle.
I know what you're bringing home.
At least 2 of them. Here's a 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
By the way, how many socks did you get for Father's Day?
I have to regroup when we get back to the ballpark and pick up my Father's Day socks.
Had 30,000 available for you.
Yep. Hopefully they kept some aside.
I think you know some people.
Yeah. Pham, a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 4.
That's one thing Paxton, he keeps on working in on these batters, and he gets that. That's going to really kind of help him out in his career. Have that ability to get in on the right-handed batters.
In Scott's service, it's a trend in baseball. Guys with no managerial experience, as Wong bunts it foul, and then getting a crack at managing in the big leagues. Mike Matheny, Brad Ausmus, Walt Weiss. White Sox Robin Ventura, Craig Counsell, Brian Price, Paul Molitor. The list goes on and on. And Wong hits a fly ball into shallow center. 2 down.
And Dan, both the examples of Service and Matheny. All right, they have no experience, but they were both catchers, and they're used
to.
Yeah. Oh, there's 12 of them. Acta, I'll go all around, but there's 12 big league managers that were catchers, and you assemble a coaching staff that has managerial experience, whether it's minor leagues, major leagues. And if you put your coaching staff together today, you better get hard workers, because the hours are incredible. People would be shocked with the hours the coaching staff put in, what they do on our charter flights, all the preparation that goes through. And you got the analytics department that gives you a folder before every series and probably every day.
2-1 on Fryer. Service hit .245 in the big leagues. Houston, the Cubs, Giants, Rockies, Astros. Played for Jim Henry, the former Cubs GM. He was the head coach at Creighton University in Omaha, Nebraska. Jim now working as a scout with the Yankees.
Nice man.
Very much so.
Yeah. Alan Bennis played for him, or pitched for him at Creighton.
2-2 pitch. Fryer lines it foul. He singled his first time up to left. Yadier Molina usually says he feels great. And Mike Matheny says, okay, we're going to play him. But he's also honest when he does need a day.
Well, he was 0 for the road trip before getting 2 hits last night.
Fryer strikes out, 2 in the inning, 5 this afternoon. Midway through 4, Mariners with a 3-1 lead. Greg Garcia, any chance that he gets to play, usually produces here in 2016. More on that. Let's check in with Scott Warman.
That's right, Danny. And of course, he started that rally, or was a part of that rally in the 8th inning when the Cardinals trying to come back with that win against the Mariners on Friday. And I talked to Garcia over the weekend, Dan, and we were just talking about the last time about versatility. He's versatile, as we know. He can play second, short, or third. He told me, Scott, he actually does a lot more preparation when he's not penciled into the starting lineup than when he is, because he has to be ready to play one of the infield positions. And obviously he has produced since being called up back in late May, Danny.
He'd also be your third catcher if need be. He's been working on the outfield as well. There's Sean O'Malley. Found it interesting. Mike Matheny said earlier today that Brandon Moss has been taking ground balls on the left side of the infield just in case.
Yeah.
You run out of position players and guys have to move all over the infield. And they said he has been better defensively than we expected. And if we need to, by emergency cases, throw him at third base, we'd be comfortable in doing that.
Well, I think that's what just shows you that he's shown that he's collecting those ground balls better than they thought at first. So, hey, take a chance. See what it looks like over the other side. It's almost like being the emergency catcher. There's guys, Jamie Quirk, even Clint Hurdle, extended their careers, in some cases nearly 10 years, just by having that label that they could be the emergency catcher. And we rarely, if ever, see a guy go back there.
More times than not, managers just won't let it get to that point. They won't empty their bench to that point.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, as a pitcher and late in the ball game, the last thing I'd want to do is throw to a position player, trying to catch, but I would understand it.
Broken bat, slow roller up the third base line and foul.
And sometimes, maybe an Eric Fryer is our best option to come off the bench. But you're holding him back because he's your second catcher. Of course, this year, Mike Matheny, whoever he's plugged in as a pinch hitter, has been incredible.
Cardinals with 10 pinch hit home runs to lead all the baseball. We're talking about Creighton University. It makes me think of Bob Gibson, and Bob, of course, played basketball and baseball there. This state, 1968, that historic run that he had. 5th consecutive shutout that he pitched. Breaking ball and a good one from Garcia. He had 13 that year, most since Grover Cleveland Alexander had 16 in 1916. I was reading his autobiography, Al, and I loved it. He said most people asked him what he threw. Fastball, slider, curve, change, knockdown pitch. He said, really, though, I had 9 different pitches. 2 different fastballs, 2 different sliders, curve, changeup, knockdown, brush back. Now I'm going to hit you to add up for the 9.
Well, I saw, you know, when he was pitching coach, one time I saw him and I knew his mood wasn't a good one. And I said, what's wrong, Bob? And he goes, nothing. Come on, Bob, what's wrong? Nothing. What's wrong, Bob? Well, you know me, I said something I probably shouldn't have said. And he goes, one of our pitchers, he's already got 4 or 5 pitches, and he wanted to come up with a new one. And I told him, you ever thought about getting rid of a couple of those mediocre pitches and try and concentrate on getting one good one?
Brutally honest.
Brutally honest. But then he said, I was a 2-pitch pitcher. And he was. He was a fastball slider pitcher. But as you said, he knew how to manipulate. He even told me in that, he said, I have a curveball, but it's a roller like these guys. And he said, I was scared to throw it.
Fryer applies the tag and a strikeout of Marte. That's 4 today for the Cardinals lefty. Chevy Foxtrax is pitch in the dirt.
That just shows you how deceptive he can be. And you're swinging at the motion. You're not picking up the ball that's bouncing. Hasn't been the prettiest game for Jaime, but he's still right in it. 3-1.
Here's Franklin Gutierrez. Slow breaking ball at 70 miles an hour.
Don't you think it's sometimes when we saw our Hyundai pitch arsenal and only had like 2% plus curveballs? Sometimes he neglects that pitch. Can be very good for him.
Sure. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gutierrez, his fly to center, and also drew a walk back in inning number 2 that loaded it up for Cano, who grounded out. His biggest contribution, though, in this game, if you just joined us, might have been a home run off the bat of Carpenter. Certainly an extra base hit. Made a great play up against the wall in right. Rounds out to third. We head to inning number 5. Mariners on top.
Jim Hayes with a Bomberito update. Cubs at the Marlins. Jose Fernandez was dominating. Fernandez 7 innings of 1-run ball, struck out 13. Marlins win 6-1. Cubs have lost 6 of 7. I like that. Dan, Al, we send it back to you in Seattle.
So they've dropped 6 of 7, Jimmy. Thank you. And if the Cardinals could come back and win this game today, they would be 9 back. Found it interesting. Matt Carpenter the other day was saying if we could get this at the All-Star break, 6, 5, maybe 4 games, we could really have some fun in the second half.
Well, what you got to hope is that the Cardinals play well enough to where you can put some pressure on Chicago. I mean, they're not playing that well right now. They're under 500 in their last 10 games.
0-2 the count on Carpenter, who is tripled and also robbed at the wall by Gutierrez.
So if you can, Cubs have this big lead. Everybody's printing World Series tickets, and they put a little pressure on them. We'll see how they react.
0-2 pitch. This is back in the second inning in a 1-1 game. Gutierrez going back in right with 2 runners on. Colton Wong would tag up on the play. Fryer had to get back to the bag at first, and what a play it was in right field. We've been talking a lot about it. Matt Carpenter deserves to be an all-star. 1947, fans were permitted to vote. But after the Reds and their fan base stuffed the ballot in 1957, and they had every starter except one, the commissioner stepped in. The fan vote was taken away until 1970. Obviously, it's back in now. You can go to Cardinals.com and vote. So you have the starters for the fan vote. Player vote is 16 players, 8 pitchers, which is 5 starters, 3 relievers, and a foul ball. Also a backup at each position. The manager gets 9 players, and then you have the final internet vote. And that's how it's broken down for the All-Star game now in 2016. I would think Carpenter has got to be in.
Right. I mean, I'm more concerned about the Cardinals only having one representative. So we'll see. I totally agree with you. He deserves to be there.
6 strikeouts for James Paxton.
It's hard to believe that lefties and righties came in here hitting .317 against this left-handed pitcher. 317. Actually, 317 one way and 318 the other.
Jake Maxwell and Chelsea May from Belleville, Illinois are here and watching Cardinals baseball. One ball, 1 strike, and Aledmys Diaz. 3-run homer last night. You look at OPS, sabermetric look at a player with on-base percentage and slugging percentage. Right now, to put it in perspective, how well Diaz has been hitting, 3rd best for a Cardinals rookie ever. That's ripped out to center field right on cue. Martinez back, can't make the catch. Diaz to second, and he'll stop there with his 2nd double of the afternoon.
That ball just seemed like it just kept on carrying and carrying. And Martin goes back, tries to reach up and haul it in. And right at the top of his webbing, slips out. There you see that highest OPS with Cardinal rookies.
Pujols, Stan the man, then Diaz, Medwick, and Hornsby, and that's on the rise today with 2 more extra base hits. Pair of doubles today for Diaz. He now has 18 this season.
So there's 3 Hall of Famers and a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer in Pujols.
Holiday is 0 for 2. He represents the tying run.
Ducky Medwick, the last National League player to win the Triple Crown back in 1937.
Miguel Cabrera, the most recent to do it.
Yeah, and Ducky was the roving hitting instructor when I joined the Cardinals. I swear he could have still hit then. He couldn't have run, but he could hit.
Oh, 2 the count on Holiday.
Very colorful Hungarian. Ducky Medwick. I cleaned that up.
Upstairs at 99 on the gun. One-two pitch to the Cardinals left fielder. That double by Aledmys Diaz, the first Cardinal hit since back in the 2nd inning. The 1-2, Diaz is running, and that's a base hit out to left field. Down into the corner. Diaz can walk home. Sliding for it, O'Malley, and Holiday Takes a wide turn around second base and stops there with his 13th double of the season. Cuts the lead to 3-2.
43rd RBI for Holiday. It's just his 3rd hit on the road trip. Low ball hitter, and he got one down. Hits it into left field corner. Diaz scores easily, and there you see O'Malley trying to slide, cut it off. It's got by him, but it wasn't going to change anything. Holiday thought about going to third, but I think he made the right decision to stay. Stottlemyre out to talk to him. Mel Stottlemyre Jr.
Crowd today of 35,955, 35955.
Did you ever meet Mel Stottlemyre Sr.?
I did.
You know,
nice man.
Pitching coach. Yeah, very nice man. An outstanding pitcher in his own right.
Enjoyed being around Todd when he was in St. Louis.
Todd was another one of those fiery competitors. Haven't seen him for.
And it is a fair ball. Just inside the line, off the bat of Piscotty. Holiday scores, and this game is tied. Back to back to back doubles for the Cardinals.
How about that? And how about the last two? One down the left field line into the corner. This one just barely fair inside the right field line. And another man out there for the Cardinals to bring in. Watch how close that one is. Just fair by inches.
Brings in Moss. Go-ahead run at second base. We're tied up at 3. Here in the top of the 5th and only one out. Moss rips it into right field. Extra bases here. Piscotty will score. Brandon Moss on his way to third. Moss standing up with a triple. Cardinals have the lead, and it's 4-3.
Messed up. 4 doubles in a row. 3 and then a triple. The RBI. They take that lead, like you said. Moss has been productive. Time he's playing. Got 37 RBIs now.
Nissan drive of the game, and again just fair inside that first base line and down into the corner and right. And Brandon Moss has his 2nd triple of the season.
Just one out. You got to pick that runner up. They got the infield in for Jerko.
Inning started with a strikeout as Carpenter was punched out. 6 today for James Paxton. Double by Diaz off the wall in center. Holiday double down the left field line. Piscotty little flare down the right field line. And a triple by Moss into the corner and right. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jed Jerko, who is flied to center and also flied out to right.
I would think with the outfield arms, even though some of them are pretty good out there for the Mariners, they're deep enough where a fly ball will score Moss. Jerko's hit 2 fly balls in his first 2 times up.
Hit to third, and an error on Seager. His 7th of the year, his 2nd in this series, and a run scores to make it 5-3 Cardinals.
Tried to backhand that ball and just lost control of it, and then wasn't sure where it was. So, broken bat. There he tries to backhand it, misses it. Now he can't find it. He almost stepped on it.
So E5 RBI on the play. Seager his 7th error this year. Brings in Tommy Pham. 5 consecutive batters have reached for the Cardinals. Still only 1 out. Pham is popped out to second, and he also struck out back in the 4th. This is in. Activity in the pen right now for Seattle. They're trying to get this lefty through 5. Pitch count at 97.
It's Don Roach, who we've seen in the first 2 games of the series. Matter of fact, he was the winning pitcher on Friday night.
Here's a 1-1. Check swing. Held up. So the Cardinals have put up a 4 spot here in the top of the 5th, and they lead it 5-3. First lead of this game for the Cardinals since they jumped out to a 1-0 lead after a half inning. Two and two. Strikeout of Pham, and 7 today for Paxton.
And the one thing about the Mariners, they are outstanding with scoring with 2 outs. Let's see if the Cardinals can't help out. It's been a trademark of the Redbirds the last couple of years.
Cold Wong is 1 for 2. Sends a fly ball into left center, and tailing back to O'Malley for the catch. 6 of the Cardinals' 8 hits are extra bases, with 4 of those coming in this inning. 4 runs scored, the Cardinals on top. '16 marks the 90th anniversary of the 26 World Series championship team. July 1st, 30,000 fans ages 16 and older take home a wearable replica 1926 championship ring courtesy of Edward Jones. After the game, it's fireworks presented by Cooper Tires, and that's all coming up on July 1st.
26 was the first of 11 world championships for the Cardinals.
Here's Robinson Cano. So Garcia and the Cardinals back on top. It's now 5-3. Cano here, then Cruz and Seager. 3, 4, and 5 in this lineup. Oh, fly ball, long way to go for Wong. Diving for it. Can't come up with it. It'll be a double for Robinson Cano. His 19th this year, first hit in this game this afternoon.
I was anxious to kind of see how Wong would play that. Would he be aggressive? Would he lay up and play it very conservative? He was very aggressive, and I like to see that. Almost makes a spectacular play. Long run. Kept it in the vicinity. Didn't get behind him, or Cano could have gotten more than just the 2 bases. But as a pitcher, I think Jaime appreciates that effort right there, but that also will get the bullpen active.
Nelson Cruz with a couple of RBIs, including a solo home run, his 19th.
Matt Bowman gets up and throwing in the Cardinal pin.
It's funny, you kind of forget about these long men of the Cardinals. They're the forgotten men of the bullpen because they come in and many times it's those non-high leverage situations, which has been the case for Bowman for the most part. Lions for sure.
Well, think about it. You know, when you had 13 quality starts in a row.
Chopper hit to third. Jerko looking back the runner Cano.
You know, you're not using a long man, so. But Tyler was outstanding. Tyler Lyons last night. 4 2/3 shutout innings. Only allowed 1 hit during that time. 1 hit, 1 walk, and gave the Cardinals all the opportunities to come from behind. They got close, but couldn't put it away.
He's talking to Kyle Seager about his family and 2 other brothers in professional baseball. There's the line on Lyons. He said the one thing that his parents always taught him was that they are to play all sports. So fall would run around and they'd be playing soccer, Winter would be basketball, then baseball. Went to North Carolina on a baseball scholarship. Said, though, my claim to fame is guarding Steph Curry playing basketball. Those two grew up in the same area.
I firmly believe that. Play all sports. I know there's some reasons why some high schools want to have everyone have an opportunity. Coaches will make you pick one sport, but I think you're really doing a disservice to your athletes. Play all the different sports, and what you learn in one sport is going to help you with another.
1-1 pitch. Held up.
Willie Wilson, had a nice career as a baseball player, but because of his family situation, his best sport was basketball, but he needed to go to baseball right away where he could sign out of high school and not go to college to help out the family.
Good pitch, 2-2. The Cubs game for Jaime Garcia, his last time out, was a big one because in the 6 starts after May 11th, posted a 6 ERA. Teams were hitting .369 against him. But that all stopped on Monday night at Wrigley Field. Trying to have that carry over to today. The 2-2. Driven out to center. Pham makes the catch. Cano tagging up from second to third.
Turco trying to deke Cano, just stand there like he's not going to receive a ball, and a strong throw from Tommy Pham.
And it brings in Lee. Mentioned the other night that Lee, as you get a look at the catch by Tommy Pham, 9 home runs while playing in Korea in 9 consecutive games. That is the pro baseball record. The major league record is 8. Dale Long did it first, then Don Mattingly, and Ken Griffey Jr. had a stretch of 8 games with 8 consecutive home runs. Two outs and a runner at third.
Lee is 2 for 2 today. So Jaime's got to figure out a way to get him out and strand that runner at third. But Lee, who is in a platoon most of the year with Lind at first base, that's kind of changing now, because Cruz likes to play in the field and not just DH, which his numbers say he should DH all the time. But
check swing and he went 0-2.
I mentioned that he was very popular in this nation of Korea. Played the last couple years in Japan, but 11 seasons in the Orient, and big numbers. 323 home runs during that time.
Shallow right, Piscotty. He's got it. Tremendous catch by Stephen Piscotty to take a hit and an RBI away from Lee. He robs Dae-Ho Lee.
Well, he had a great jump on that ball.
5-3 St. Louis. July 2nd, look like the pros in a Matt Carpenter batting practice jersey. 30,000 fans ages 16 and older take home the Carpenter BP jersey courtesy of Ford, and tickets for July 2nd against Milwaukee can be found at cardinals.com/promotions. It'll be Eric Fryer, Matt Carpenter, and Aledmys Diaz for the Cardinals. And a right-hander is in for the Seattle Mariners. This is our Chevy called to the pen.
Don Roach appearing in the 3rd straight game. When he came in on Friday, that was his Mariners debut, and he was the winning pitcher in that ball game. He was selected from Tacoma prior to the game on Friday. At Tacoma, he was 4-4, 4.26 ERA and 14 starts. Signed a minor league free agent contract December 5th with Seattle.
He's pitched with San Diego and the Chicago Cubs, and he is from Nevada. As Fryer bunts it foul.
He made 16 big league appearances in one start. 2014 with San Diego. 2015 he made one start, lost that ball game for the Cubbies.
One point he was in the red system back in July of 2015 as Fryer grounds it to short. Taken there by Marte. And there's one away.
Has 7 minor league seasons with the Angels, San Diego, Cubs, Cincinnati, Toronto, and now Seattle. They needed a fresh arm. And now he's pitching in his 3rd game in a row.
Infield shifts to the right side. Here's Carpenter. He has tripled. That was to start the game in left center. Hit one to the wall. That was caught by Gutierrez. May have taken away a 3-run homer. And then was called out on strikes back in inning number 5. After he was struck out, Cardinals picked up 4 consecutive extra base hits, 3 doubles in a row and a triple. And they picked up a lead. 8 hits aside, 5-3 St. Louis. On deck, Aledmys Diaz. So Paxton, the big lefty, gives the Mariners 5 innings today. He strikes out 7. And the 2-1. Carpenter has nearly as many walks as strikeouts. 50 walks to go along with 53 strikeouts. Full count. And with that, Seager, the 3rd baseman, moves into the shortstop position with 2 strikes.
Yeah, Paxton 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts.
Carpenter, a high drive into deep right field. Gutierrez won't get this one. Matt Carpenter, his 12th home run, adds to the Cardinal lead. He drives in his 46th. It's another run scored, his 2nd of the afternoon, for what should be another all-star appearance here in 2016.
Another multi-hit game for him. He's hit in 5 in a row and 17 out of 18. A triple, a near home run that was robbed by the right fielder Gutierrez, and now a home run here. So he keeps on adding to that resume, not only for the All-Star game, but you got to be putting up some consideration for MVP. No doubt about this one. Inner part of the plate. He's got that uppercut, but really cut down on strikeouts this year. He's had uppercut swing, and I think he knew this one was gone.
Out to visit, it's Iannetta with Roach. I thought 2 of the best at bats on this road trip have come from Aledmys Diaz. He had the 12 pitch at bat against Jake Arrieta. Really seemed to unnerve Arrieta. That was on Wednesday. 8 pitch last night at bat, then led to a home run, and you just see him making the adjustments as we go. Not just jumping on that first pitch, which is what he did earlier in the year, but he's made the adjustment with that pitch on the outside corner. 3-0. And he draws a walk. So the 3rd time that Aledmys Diaz has been on base to go along with a couple of doubles. OPS, Carpenter. This is the highest OPS by a leadoff hitter since 1913, and he's on that list twice. On base plus slugging percentage, OPS.
Now Daniels had that 1 year with Cincinnati. Top of that, but Carpenter 2 and 5. since '87. Is that what it was?
Since 1913.
Oh, 1913. That's a little longer than.
Matt Carpenter with 2 runs scored today, up to 51. Third most in the National League. Chris Bryant with 55. Picks up his 5th triple. That's second most in the National League. He's in the top 2 in doubles. Average now right around 300. Puts him in the top 15. And that's a base hit into right. Diaz stops at second. Can't watch the games on television. You can now stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to your app store, download the free Fox Sports Go app, log in, stream the Cardinals wherever you go. That may be one where you want to see Aledmys Diaz push it to third. 3-run lead, base hit into right, caught up in the grass, and he stopped at second.
And go first for third. It really puts so much pressure on everyone. Find out.
Here's Piscotty. He's struck out. He's walked, and also a little flare for a double down the right field line. Picked up an RBI, number 39.
David Rollins, a lefty, warming up in the bullpen. So we'll see if Piscotty can't knock out this Roach. How about the play he just made to end that inning? Tremendous jump on that ball. Came in. Little daredevil is he'll leave his feet a lot of times, but always comes up with it or keeps the ball in front of him. And we should know with a guy out in scoring position, Piscotty's going to come through.
468 is average with runners in scoring position at the start of play today. 0-1 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hopefully we see his roommate Grichuk back up here at some time, but where you would think that Grichuk can learn something from Piscotty. You know, some hitters kind of panic when they get into a RBI situation, and other guys like Piscotty just thrive on it.
One and two.
And you talk to Mabry about how many times you'll see Piscotty fall across the plate. You know, and he called him still he's still in work in progress, really learning, but really makes quick adjustments. One of the few guys that can make it inside of bats.
Piscotty swings through that pitch, strikeout. 2 down, and it brings in Brandon Moss, and I'm sure they're going to go to their bullpen with the lefty up and loose to face Moss. We shall see.
Well, he's on his way, so second visit, and he'll make the pitching change.
So that'll be it for Don Roach. And this is our Chevy call to the pen. 6-3 St. Louis. Moss coming up. Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, all the baseball superstars come together. Primetime event that lights up the summer. Major League Baseball All-Star Game from San Diego, July 12th, and it's only on Fox. This is David Rollins. He was drafted 3 different times, and then eventually wound up with the Toronto Blue Jays. Traded from the Blue Jays to Houston. Then Seattle selected him in the Rule 5 draft. Did serve a 80-game suspension. Tested positive for PEDs. That was back in 2015.
And he was here last year as a Rule 5. So he had 20 appearances, 0-2, ERA over 7.5. Just was called up on Friday There's another arm.
One ball, one strike. Brandon Moss at the plate. He has walked. He has grounded out. Also tripled into the corner and right for his second triple this year.
And our opponents were only hitting 190 against him in the minor leagues. Struck out 26, just walked 1. Was 2-0 with a 2.05 ERA in 24 games for Tacoma. Some people thought that he was going to break with the club out of spring training. Didn't happen, but now he finds himself here in the big leagues.
And the 1-2 pitch to Moss. Struck him out. So Rollins comes in, strands a couple of runners. The Cardinals have left 8 on through 6. Budweiser and the Cardinals proud to bring you the 4th of July $4 ticket sale. This is tomorrow at noon. Fans can purchase tickets to see the Cardinals and the Pirates July 4th through the 7th for just $4. $4 seats starting tomorrow. Cardinals.com/July. That's at noon at Cardinals.com/July. Jaime Garcia pitching into the 6th and a 6-3 St. Louis lead.
I mean, sprinted out of the dugout to go take his warm-up tosses. I like that. You know, hustle out there, get your adrenaline going a little bit. Walk off. Don't run off like you're afraid. Kind of shows the other team that I've got the lead and I'm going to keep it.
Iannetta here, then Martin and O'Malley.
And Matt Bowman is back up again, so may not go too long with Jaime. 92 pitches on the day.
Two balls and 2 strikes. In Kansas City tomorrow, 6:30 with the pregame show. First of 4 with the Royals. 2 in Kansas City, 2 at home in St. Louis.
Should be fun.
Ooh, he just missed 3-2. Garcia has allowed 8 base hits. He has struck out 4 and walked 2. And on the hands of Iannetta and fouled back.
Iannetta was 2 for 6 against Jaime coming into this game. 0 for 2 today. And hopefully you can retire that leadoff man. You do that, get the leadoff man every inning, you're well on your way to a shutout inning.
And he strikes out Iannetta to start the bottom of the 6th.
That had to bring a big smile to William and Charlie Baumkamp. They're here from St. Louis. Dad Brian has brought them here, and they have some of the best grandparents in the world. Margie and Herschel Price. You know, Margie is the executive director of the Men's Cancer Dinner. Do an outstanding job with that dinner and raise a lot of funds to help cancer. But glad William and Charlie have brought us some good luck. They were the slump busters.
There's Martin. One out and nobody on. Pitch number 98. No balls, 2 strikes.
Now you're talking about the 8 hits he's allowed, but those all came in the first 3 innings. So come out here strong and finish up this inning. Good 6 innings of work.
Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball in the dirt. Safeco Field opened up in 1999. Ballpark, this site just south of the old Kingdome.
The Kingdome, as you can see out there in left field, the arches of the football stadium. My understanding that that was put on the site of the Kingdome. Kingdome was so small you could put it inside the Astrodome.
Little chopper hit to the right side, and a tough play for Carpenter, safe at first. Took an odd hop on him as it hit the dirt, and it's a base hit for Martin. He's on base for the third time.
Carpenter went a long way to his left to get to that ball, and then it kind of bounced out of his glove, but he held on to it. There he goes, flips it up, catches it again, and then had a real tough throw, and Martin runs well enough that he beats out that infield single.
There's Sean O'Malley. Scott Service with a three-man bench that we mentioned before, all hitters from the left side. Foul ball.
Moss holding the runner on, and so he had the fair territory guarded, but it was foul. Yeah, as long as you got the left-hander in there, you're going to, you know, kind of neutralize their bench, and that's why you see Segrist warming up. Segrist joins Bowman.
That would tell you that Seung-Hwan Oh would be your closer then today. You would have to assume if Diaz, or rather if Segrist would come in, and even the fact that he's getting loose right now.
Yeah, and I think that that would be our first choice. You know, you got very capable Segrist, Broxton, and O. And I'd like to see O be the guy. And it could change every day, just according to circumstance.
Mike Matheny talked about how you evaluate Trevor Rosenthal, and he said you look at velocity. Is it there? Yes. How does he feel? Says he feels great. So at this point, he said we just need a confident closer.
See, Maloney's trying to get Wong's attention and move him over towards center field.
It's called by the home plate umpire Carlos Torres, and a strikeout of O'Malley. 2 in the inning and 6 today. As Torres is hearing it from the bench in Scott Service.
Can't argue balls and strikes. He just got tossed. I think Scott's saying ask for help.
But once the home plate umpire calls it,
yes,
it's a moot point.
It's in the books.
It was a one-sided conversation if I've ever seen one.
Well, and you know, I give Torres some credit. Don't get him baited into saying something or, you know, getting any far involved. And he listened to what Scott said. Then the crew chief, Jerry Davis, came down, and home plate umpire just walked away. Here's the pitch. And it looks like those hands come through. Every time you see a check swing from the side, it almost always looks like the guy goes through. So I would think that if our guy did it, we would have called it a strike.
So 2 outs, runner at first. Back to the top of the lineup, and Marte singled and scored back in inning number 1, and also has struck out twice. Back to Rosenthal just for a bit. He said we need to find lower leverage situations to get his trust in his stuff back. Fastball location for Rosenthal is the key. He's been elevating that. He said so many throw hard in the game today, but you have to be able to locate. And Trevor Rosenthal has 21 walks in 24 innings, and it just always seems like he's pitching from behind. 1-0, 2-0, and you get in those counts, you know what's coming. It's a fastball, and that's what he's getting beat on an awful lot.
And it appears that that fastball, even though it's high octane, it just doesn't have much movement at all. So obviously it's one of those little blips on the radar, and he'll figure it out. He'll go out there and get some outs, strikeouts, get his confidence back, and you know Mike Matheny would be the first one to get him back in the closer role when he's able to do it.
The 2-1 pitch to Marte. Two and two with 2 outs and a runner at first.
Red always tells me a story that he was in a meeting with Big Vine, and Big was saying, "Oh, Al's great. He's got all, you know, fans love him, this and that. He's so eccentric." And Red goes, "Yeah, wait till he loses a foot or two off his fastball."
Broken bat and over Diaz. Good play by Wong to barehand that. And to keep Martin to the bag at second base. He made a very good play on a ball that was hit down the left field line last night and held a runner at second base, or rather first base, not to allow him to get to second. And after that, there was a base hit. So it saved the Cardinals a run, even though they lost the game 5-4.
Here comes in here. There's where you're talking about the bending down and barehanding it. So Jaime's day is through. Goes 5 2/3. 2 more hits this inning, given what, 10 on the day.
So 2 on, the tying run coming to the plate, and our Chevy called to the pen. Kevin Segrist is our Chevy called to the pen as we get a look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal. Nothing too fancy about that. Fastball change and a much improved curveball here in 2016. Franklin Gutierrez has singled to center. He's also walked and grounded out. Runners at first and second, and Gutierrez represents the tying run. 6-3 Cardinals here in the bottom of the 6th. Five 2/3 for Garcia. 10 hits, struck out 6, walked 2, and he's responsible for the 2 on base.
Gutierrez 1 for 1 off of Segrist. You know, Kevin, as you mentioned, really worked hard in spring training on that curveball. He's always had the ability to retire right-handed batters, especially with the fastball and an excellent changeup. But the curveball was needed for the lefties. But he's using an awful lot with the righties, too.
One ball, 1 strike. Garcia threw 110 pitches today. You could see where Segrist would finish off this inning in quick fashion and then be available certainly to pitch next inning too.
I think that's something that you and I both would like to see. Some of the guys going double innings.
High fly ball. Deep left. Wong is back. We're tied. Gutierrez with his 9th home run.
I talked about how they lead, the Mariners lead major leagues with home runs off of left-handed pitching. Second home run that they've hit today off a lefty.
6th home run allowed by Kevin Segrist, and now we're tied up at 6-6 here in the 6th.
Got to turn that momentum around real quick.
Here's a 1-0. Closes the book on Garcia. He allows 5 of the 6 runs today. One ball and 1 strike on Robinson Cano.
Cardinals swept the Angels, their first interleague opponent, and winless 7 straight since then against the American League.
There's that curveball, and charging is Jerko, and out at first. So Cano retired, but a 3-run homer with 2 outs here in the 6th off the bat of Gutierrez, and we're tied. The Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. So after jumping out to a 6-3 lead, that's erased with 1 swing of the bat by Gutierrez. 3-run homer, and we're tied up at 6-6. This will be the 4th pitcher used by the Mariners here today, and it's our Chevy call to the bullpen.
Nick Vincent will come into this ball game, and remember, they had to make their pitching staff was on fumes. They're carrying 8 relievers after they lost 6 in a row before the Cardinals came in town. Vincent, his last outing, retired the side in order in the 7th inning on Friday night against St. Louis. 34 games, 2-2, ERA 3.06. He's got 1 save and 6 opportunities and 11 holds.
43 home runs hit today in Major League Baseball. 43. There's Jed Jerko, who's reached on an air and also flied to right and flied to center.
We needed that output during the home run challenge, didn't we?
Most in one day this year has been 50 home runs hit. Back on May 31st, and 43 hit thus far in Major League Baseball today. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jed Jerko. And Jerko may add to it. Out to center. It is gone! Over the wall in center field. Jed Jerko, his 7th of the year. Redbirds back on top. It's 7-6.
And he hit this home run against his teammate of a year ago. Vincent was acquired from San Diego for a player to be named later, and Jed rudely greeted him.
Jed Jerko just helped the Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
This ball club has been very, very good at closing out ball games, scoring a lot of runs late in the game, 7th inning or later. And the Honda dealers, they've had to.
And that's well hit out to right field. Did they go back to back? Yes! Home run, Tommy Pham, first of the year. Back-to-back solo shots. Jed Jerko, Tommy Pham, 2-run lead, St. Louis.
Don't stop there. Honda dealers got a lot of money.
Tommy Pham just helped the Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri.
Jerko, you see this one, high towering blast out to left center, pretty much straightaway center, and then Tommy Pham hits this one to the opposite field. Gutierrez robbed Carpenter early in the game of a home run, but not this one.
Long, that'll stay in the ballpark. He lines out to Cano. 2 home runs in this inning, 3 today for the Cardinals, part of this 12-hit attack, and they lead at 8-6.
How about the extra base hits, all the doubles, triple, couple triples, 3 home runs.
9 of the 12 hits have gone for extra bases. Here's Fryer, strike 1. No activity in the Cardinals pen, and the DH being used in an American League park, you don't run into the pitcher spot, so certainly could see that Kevin Siegrist would pitch the 7th inning.
Eric Fryer came in batting .316 in his starts this year, and he's 1 for 3. He's done a very, very nice job when called upon to give Yachty a rest. Offense has been a pleasant surprise, and defensively he's been as good, if not better, than advertised.
Popped up.
Not a lot of bat stand, but Vincent came into this game here today not allowing a single base hit to a Cardinal player.
Ask him to move the rosin bag behind the pitcher's mound, and there's 2 outs, and here is Carpenter, who was homered here today. Go ahead, Al. I know you want to do it. The only thing they've done since 1968 to help the pitcher, and it doesn't work. We call that the Rabowski there, to help the pitcher clean his spikes.
And the old-fashioned tongue depressor works much better. A little bit obsolete in this ballpark with a dome that if it started raining you could cover the field. It does rain frequently up here in the Northwest.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. But yesterday and today are absolutely beautiful days.
2-2 pitch. Little check swing by Carpenter, charging the shortstop, and he makes the play. Well, a couple of home runs, and once again we thank the Gateway Honda dealers and their donations to the community. The Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. They don't mind signing that check. The Gateway Honda dealers are happy this afternoon. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light. Raise 1-2 right now. And by your local Volkswagen dealer. Gorgeous day. The Pacific Northwest. In Seattle, Washington. First time we've been here since 2002 to face the Mariners. They've had 3 visits to Busch Stadium in St. Louis, but first time back here since 2002. The year that Sota Taguchi in that series made his major league debut. Every Cardinals batter has at least 1 hit today, and every Cardinals batter except for Wong and Fryer has a run scored and at least an RBI. So the offense is picked up here in game number 3, and we'll see if the bullpen can make it stick. Siegrist, his second inning of work in relief of Jaime Garcia. He came into the game. It was a 3-run lead at the time. Gave up a 3-run homer to tie it up. Now the Cardinals on top by 2 and potentially a chance at a win.
Called a vulture. But right now his teammates are rooting for him to go out there and pitch, preserve the lead, give them one win in this 3-game series here, and stop the 7-game losing streak against the American League.
Cardinals have out-hit Seattle 12-11, and they lead 8-6. Here's Nelson Cruz. Fastball and a strike at 92 from Siegrist.
Dan, it's the worst feeling in the world to come in trying to preserve a lead and allow the other team to tie it up. There's one thing worse, and that's what Rosenthal experienced on Friday night. Come in trying for a save and end up walking off the field as a loser.
But a changeup down and in to Lind, and it was a no-doubter.
Yeah, but some way, somehow, you got to be regrouping, thinking positive thoughts by the next game.
1-2 the count.
Here, Siegrist has to forget about the 3-run home run he allowed and realize that he's now trying to preserve an 8-6 lead.
Nelson Cruz with an RBI back in the first. Solo home run in the third. Been 5 home runs hit in this game. 3 by the Cardinals. Carpenter, Jerko, and Pham go back-to-back. Cruz is homered for Seattle along with Gutierrez in his 3-run shot. And the 1-2 pitch. We'll do it again.
I've said it earlier, but it sure seems like it is pronounced when you get on the West Coast and nighttime, especially in Southern California, the marine layer comes in and kind of knocks the ball down, and it's hard to hit home runs. But during the day, the ball travels so much better. I think the 5 home runs an indication of that today. And the fact that they've got some sluggers.
Oh, yeah.
Have 3 players in the middle of their lineup that 15 or more home runs.
Gutierrez one shy of double figures after his home run. Curveball, hung it, and it's a fair ball. Dug out of the corner by Colton Wong, and a leadoff double for Nelson Cruz. Cruz with his 12th double of the year. Second base hit today.
And this was a good at bat, and Cruz is a good hitter, but there's a hanging breaking ball. And I started talking about it a little bit, but in spring training he really perfected that curveball, and it has helped him quite a bit against left-handed batters. But he had no problem retiring right-handed batters with his good fastball and changeup. And we've seen that he's throwing a lot of the curveballs to the right-handers, and I think he's gotten hurt by it more times than it's helped him, and gone away from his very good changeup. Then you kind of lose the feel for it.
Strike 2, Kyle Seager. Fly to left. He is grounded out to second. Also lined out to center. Tying run at the plate. There's a good curveball there. Had him way out in front. 0-2.
And see, it's a lot easier for him to throw the curveball to lefty because starts it out there, and most of the time he wants it to end up in the dirt or outside. But to a right-hander, you kind of have a tendency to hang it a little bit because you don't want to hit the guy.
0-2 pitch to Seager. Fastball. Got him on the outside corner.
This sneaky fast with his fastball just freezes a good hitter. A little bit outside, but call goes Kevin's way.
Dejo lead. Double into right, single into center, and Piscotty robbed him of a base hit and an RBI back in the 5th with a diving catch to end that inning. One out, runner at second. Pitch misses in. I don't know how much time Eric Fryer has left with the Cardinals with this stint, but we need to say it again, and he's done a really good job again today. A lot of balls in the dirt. Garcia is one that throws it continuously in the dirt with his off-speed pitches. Segrist has thrown a couple in the dirt, and those balls have gotten nowhere. I mean, he's done a really good job backing up Yadier Molina. And who knows? Maybe it's a different corresponding move when they decide to activate Brian Pena, but give him a lot of credit for the time that he has been here.
I'll tell you what, he has not done anything to disappoint. He has been an absolute plus. Calls a good game. Guys, you know, he's obviously keeps himself in very, very good shape. He can runs well for a catcher. He's contributed over 300, near 400 average, but over 300 when he starts games.
The 2-1 pitch. Fastball, a good one. 2-2. The 2-2. That's hit out of play.
Broxton warming up for the Cardinals in their bullpen.
Well, again, that would tell you that O would be your guy in the ninth.
No doubt.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Dejo lead. Foul back.
Good cut right there. 94 out over the plate. Right over the shoulder of Fryer.
Play. The 2-2 off the end of the bat. Little squibber rolls fair into the glove of Brandon Moss for the out, and Cruz advances to third with 2 down. Celebrate Independence Day at the ballpark. Take home a unique hat. Monday, the 4th of July. 30,000 fans ages 16 and older receive a replica Cardinals pillbox baseball cap courtesy of Brown and Crouppen Law Firm. Get your 4th of July tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. So 2 outs, runner at third, and the batter is Chris Iannetta. Iannetta today is lined out, flied out, and struck out. Foul back. Braves beat the Mets 5-2 today. They split that 4-game series. Chris Davis with his 7th career grand slam as the Orioles defeat the Rays 12-5. Baltimore leads the American League East 3 games in front of Boston, 4 in front of Toronto. to deep left center field. Tommy Pham shading from the sun as he takes his hat off. Now that's one way to do it. It worked. Shading from the sun, he takes his hat off. I have never seen that.
I'm with you.
Just like you do it in the backyard.
Jim Hayes with another Bomberito update. Royals trying to snap a 4-game skid this afternoon. Home to Houston. Kendrys Morales solo homers in the 4th and 7th. His 15th career multi-homer game. Royals win 6-1. Dan, Al, we send it back to you in Seattle.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. 12 hits aside, 8-6 Cardinals here in the top of the 8th. I honestly have never seen a player do that.
I have not either.
I mean, it worked.
Well, like you say, every day you'll see something new. We just did.
New pitcher is Edwin Diaz, the top young hard throwers that they have for the Mariners. We saw him last night. Chevy called to the pen. Former starter in the minor leagues and now working out of their bullpen.
He was called up from Double-A Jackson on June the 4th. He's held opponents scoreless in 7 of the 9 games this year. He looks like a lively arm. Kind of got that body and whip action.
1-1. Diaz today, couple of doubles. He's now up to 18 this season. Runs scored, RBI number 40. Was called out on strikes and walked for the 22nd time this year. Just missed. 2-2. And a strikeout on the lead miss Diaz.
Nice pitch. Down and away, right on the black. Tough pitcher's pitch. Gets the strikeout. Ashley and Matt Fons are here, and their granddaughter, Ruari. They're all attended all 3 of these games here. Matt is stationed at McCord Air Force Base in Seattle, and we thank him for his service. Got to win one for the Air Force.
Holiday 2 for 4. He struck out, grounded out. Picked up a double and an RBI in the 5th inning. Cardinals scored 4 that inning. 13th double of the year and also singled. So 2 for 4 on the afternoon. One pitch. Hit out of play.
Matt DH all 3 of these games here, so a little bit of a break. After his first 2 plate appearances, he was just 2 for 18 on the road trip. Now 4 for 20. Effectively wild. Take a little advantage of that. Don't hear that term much anymore, do you? Effectively wild?
No, sir. Leave that hitter a little uneasy in that batter's box. 2-2. Because it seems like guys, right or wrong, All are throwing mid-90s coming out of the pen, and it's all like robots coming out of there.
Yeah,
you know, there's same arm angle a lot of times.
Hitters are running up there because they know that, you know, they're never going to be thrown inside. It'd have to be a mistake. The ball's going to get out of play.
Right by the Seattle dugout, out of play. So it's off to see the world champion Kansas City Royals tomorrow. Kansas City 3 games above the 500 mark at the start of play today.
They won today. This broke a 4-game losing streak, so something's got to give.
3-2 pitch, and Holiday hits it a ton. Center field, track, wall, it's another one. Holiday goes deep. The Cardinals with 4 home runs this afternoon. That shot, number 14 for the big man in left field.
And also career number 150 as a Cardinal. 150 career home runs for Matt. He's been an excellent addition to this ball club. Signed a big contract, free agent, and he has lived up to it. He's lived up to his part, and I think the Cardinal organization has done the same with his success. 5 straight years going to postseason. But there is no doubt about this one. Dead center field.
So Holiday up to 14, 2 more RBIs, and he's got 44 this year.
He only hit 4 home runs last year when he was injured twice for that.
Popped up behind home plate. Well, you think about Matt Holiday and start projecting these numbers out. And for the Cardinals, today it's game number 74, so we're not even at the halfway point. You know, you're looking at potentially 30 and 80 to 90 RBIs.
I remember he got off to a slow start, but this month of June he's really picked up the pace in the home runs. And
Piscotty strikes out.
yeah, and I think all the weight that Matt has lost this offseason and kind of will really pay off in the second half. Keep him fresh a lot longer. And
well, the Cardinals have, and many teams have picked up on this, studies about how to give players time off, and they've been very conscious of the efforts of Holiday to get himself in just ridiculous condition, but also to figure out times every week to get him time off. There's a base hit by Moss. It's kind of like sabermetrics. You know, you look at the numbers bear it out that you should do certain things or shifts. Same thing can be said with time off, and the studies have been done to give players more time off to keep them better prepared for the long haul of a season.
well, you know, Yachty and you know Holiday, guys like that want to play every single day, but they know as they get older there's going to be periods that they get a little run down, arm weary. And you got to understand that. But I think that's what really happened to Johnny Peralta last year. I mean, they just wore him right into the ground, where the second half was just a struggle, and maybe the blessing of his thumb injury is the fact he missed 57 games. But I thought today was a good time to give him a rest because he was dragging a little bit the last few days.
Jerko has reached on an error back in the 5th and also hit a solo home run. 0-2 pitch. That gets away, and Moss on his way to second base.
Wild pitch this time. Earlier there was a pass ball. Iannetta, he just skid with his live arm. You just got to kind of going to miss location quite a bit at times.
Here's a 1-2. And Jerko hits it in the air out to left center. Catch is made. The Cardinals have 14 hits this afternoon. 10 have gone for extra bases. 9-6 St. Louis. Well, the Cardinals have 4 home runs hit today. We haven't seen Carlos Martinez throw that cup of water in the face of the home run hitters. He is here today, we understand. He's just not on cup duty, I guess. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Broxton will take over here. He's been very good of late.
First pitch to Martin is taken for a ball.
Scoreless baseball in 26 of 31 outings.
Inning in the third for Kevin Segrist in relief of Jaime Garcia. Went 5 2/3. There's a strike, 1-1. Foul back for strike 2. Outfield is straight away. Martin has an infield hit twice and also walked. Fouls it back.
Look at Broxton. His ERA in April was 1.80. Struggled in May with an ERA over 9, but this month he's bounced back and has not allowed an earned run in June.
And the 1-2 pitch from Jonathan Broxton to Martin. Popped up left side. Jerko, foul territory. Makes the catch.
Nice play by Jerko. A little basket catch.
None better than Terry Pendleton with that over-the-shoulder catch. From what I've seen from third baseman.
How about how far Terry could go back?
Yeah, it was
in
incredible.
Foul territory, and then how many times he turned and throw out a runner at the plate. But there you see the little basket catch. And got a little more foul territory here than some of the newer ballparks.
Now it's O'Malley.
Terry could get all the way down to the bullpen areas. Old Busch Stadium, too. The bullpens were down the lines.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to O'Malley. 9-6 Cardinals. Nolan Arenado made a play at Busch Stadium 2 years ago. It's the best play in the new Busch Stadium by a third baseman on those type of plays we've seen yet. Roland had a few, but Arenado was way down the line.
I was looking at some of the numbers in the National League, and Arenado was all over the place. You know, he's a great defensive player, which you just noted, and offensively having an MVP type season.
It's another question for the Rockies. Will they keep Carlos Gonzalez, keep that team together? Trevor Story has come up and contributed very nicely. The shortstop, a lot of home runs for the Rockies. Colorado is 35-39, 12 games back in the West. 3-1 pitch. Make it 3-2.
Didn't like that one. That call.
Just missed, and it's a 1-out walk. Back to the top of the lineup, and Marte. 2 strikeouts, 2 hits. Both have been singles. Gutierrez is on deck. He had the big 3-run homer in the 6th. Strike 1. Jonathan was telling me the other day he does expect his fastball, season goes along, to get better and better and better in terms of velocity. He's consistently 92, 94, but you'll see him pop 96. Very few times he'll do this, but he'll hit 97, 98. 0-1 pitch. And a ground ball. Moss to second. That's all they're going to get with the speed of Marte. So they get the lead man. And it brings in Gutierrez. See a pinch hitter. This will be Seth Smith, who has started the first 2 games of this series.
He's over 5 off of Broxton, so Cardinals were happy about this one.
Cardinals putting on the shift. Robinson Cano is on deck. Gutierrez had a single, a walk, and a 3-run homer, and they'll pinch hit for him with Smith. Righty-lefty matchup here. 2 outs, runner at first.
Gutierrez pretty much now is a pinch hitter himself. Or he gets the starts against left-handed pitching, but you can see how much he has produced with his home run pop.
And right to Moss, who was holding the runner on at first. Broxton a scoreless 8th inning. We head to the 9th, and the Cardinals on top.
Jim Hayes and Rick Ankiel with you in our Fox Sports Midwest studio at Ballpark Village. Coming up after the game on Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live, Rick breaks down the Cards' quest to avoid the broom, plus
some wham bam thank you man long balls, and let's see if we get a chance to see shut it down here in the 9th.
All that plus play reaction. Dan, Al, we send it back to you in Seattle.
Chevy called to the pen, takes us to one of the 3 lefties for the Seattle Mariners.
Nuno comes in this game. First time we've seen him in this series. He has not allowed a run in 21 of 27 appearances this season. Got an emergency start on the 23rd there in Detroit when they lost their starter before game started.
Back in June of last year, Diamondbacks traded Nuno and Mark Trumbo here to Seattle. And that's well hit down the left field line, and it's gone! Tommy Pham, his 2nd home run of the day. He's gone to the opposite field. This one out in a blink of an eye. A line shot down the left field line, and count them up. That's 5 home runs hit for the Cardinals today.
A little fun. Like you said, his first home run was a shot to right field. This one just a rope frozen line drive that goes off the back wall. And the Cardinals are having a little fun. There's Martinez and the water toss.
May 2nd at home, the Cardinals had a 5 home run day. They've done this multiple times. That was the last time they did it. So 5 home runs, and 2 have been hit by Tommy Pham.
One of the things I like to look at is when, you know, a goal is to score at least in 4 innings of work.
Popped up off the bat of Wong in foul territory, and the catch is made. Cardinals came in 4th in home runs in the National League.
Just a hanging breaking ball, just sat up there, and what a rope. Never got high altitude, just goes off that back wall. And in a blink of an eye, his 2nd home run. 5 home runs. Cardinals have scored.
Hit to short, and Fryer is retired for out number 2.
They've scored in 5 different innings in this ball game. And one of the things I like to look at is when you can score in 4 innings or more, you're almost guaranteed a win. Cardinals are 16-3 this year when they score in 4 innings. So scored 5 innings here today. Got a chance for run that record, 17-3. 10 runs on the night with 15 hits.
That's well hit. Deep right. It is gone. 6 of them today for the Cardinals. The second for Matt Carpenter, a long one into right field. This man is red hot. Lucky number 13 for Matt Carpenter. And the Birds are pouring it on here in Game 3.
We used some of these runs in the last 2 games. But Cardinals look like they got mad today. They're having a lot of fun. Martinez would have got his sore arm if he would have started with the first home run.
Diaz into shallow right. And that drops him. Aledmus Diaz on his way to second base with his 3rd double of the game.
So at the 13th extra base hit. Was 7 out of 17 today. Tough Sun Field. You see Seth Smith, who just came in there like he didn't hit him. And here's the 6th home run tonight. That ties the high, the high for the season for the Cardinals, and no doubter, Carpenter knew it. Remember, he had a home run robbed back in the 2nd inning. But 2 home runs and a triple today for Carpenter.
(11-6). Bowman is throwing along with O. It's now a 5-run lead, non-save situation. 6 home runs, tied for the most the Cardinals have hit this year. Holiday hit one. That was just an inning ago out to center field. The Cardinals have 17 hits. 13 have gone for extra bases. Holiday strikes out. It has been an offensive explosion here in Game 3 for the Cardinals. 6 home runs, 13 extra base hits. Safeco Field here in Seattle, 13 extra base hits, ties the Safeco Field record for the most extra base hits in a game for either team. The Cardinals, the all-time record for home runs in a game is 7. Cardinals have 6. Carpenter with 2 of those 6. Tommy Pham with 2 home runs today. Holiday with a home run. Jed Jerko as well. July 12th of 1996, the Cardinals had 7 home runs. Prior to that, May 7th of 1940, they had a game with 7 home runs. It's been done twice. What a game this has been.
Yeah, look at already. Cardinals 12 times have gone 10 runs or more. Just did it 9 times all last season.
Cleveland hit 8 in a game here at Safeco Field back in 2004. Most ever in Safeco history. There's Robinson Cano to lead it off against Matt Bowman in our Chevy, called to the pen.
How about the fact that there are 19 extra base hits in this game, including 8 home runs by both teams. Matt Bowman going to close it out.
Tommy Pham, second time he's had a 2-home run day. Did that last season against Milwaukee. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's it out of play. Robinson Cano, growing up, picked up the name of Robinson from his father, who idolized Jackie Robinson. We've seen his dad pitch to him in the home run derby. He's looking for home run number 20 of his season. 1-2 pitch.
Matt Bowman, Rule 5 pick, has really done a good job. 65.9% ground ball ratio.
Two pitch. Had him out in front, and it's popped up. Shallow left. Who wants it? Diaz. Shortstop takes it. That's the first out. Take a look at all these home runs hit by the Cardinals. It started with Matt Carpenter, then Jed Jerko, Tommy Pham opposite way. Holiday into right center. Pham the line shot down the line, and then Carpenter tattooed that pitch for his 13th home run this year.
Well, he scored first in this ball game, the first inning, but then were held scoreless until the 6th. But from the 6th on, they have been outstanding. 4-1-2-1-2. 3 crooked numbers.
One ball, 1 strike on Nelson Cruz.
Owen was selected in the Rule 5 draft from the Mets. You know, all the young talented starters they got with the Mets. Well, Bowman was at AAA last year, Las Vegas. He led the Pacific Coast League in losses. And he was a starting pitcher, but the Cardinals, what they like about him is they like him as a reliever with that power sinker. And he's 3rd in the National League with that 65.9 ground ball percent. Smart kid, and looks like he's handled this very, very well.
Three and 2 the count. Pulled foul. Three-two pitch on its way again, and he walked him. We turn to our Budweiser player of the game. Cardinals leading by 5 here in the bottom of the 9th, and it's Matt Carpenter. Big day, 3 for 6, triple, 2 home runs, drives in 2, scores 3 runs. Our Budweiser player of the game.
Had some choices today, didn't you?
I don't make the selections. It's all done by our esteemed producer, Brian McCann, with input from our esteemed director, Tom Mead. Keith Olbermann also chimes in. Keith O'Brien. Those two are together all the time trying to figure out the latest trends in the game.
How about Jim Hayes? They have input in that too. Be quite a reunion between you and the Cat to get back to St. Louis.
2-1. Slap fouling out of play.
O begins to throw again in the bullpen.
The 2-2 in the dirt. Kyle Seager today's fly to left, grounded out to second. Also fly to center and struck out at a costly error midway through this game. Cardinals would love to turn 2 and head to Kansas City. 3-2 pitch. Carpenter to second, out there onto first, not in time. Good play though by Matt Carpenter. That ball was a bullet off the bat of Seager.
Well, he was. You just wonder if it might have been easier to go to first base first, because the runner was kind of caught in no man, didn't know if it was going to be a line drive. But just a bullet. You see the runner at first, he had to hold up. So if he would have gone to first, but he probably would have turned the double play, but did the right thing, get the lead man.
Here's Deho Lee. First pitch, ball 1. Runner goes, and it's hit up the middle. Aledmys Diaz is there, and the Cardinals salvage the final game of this series. 6 home runs hit today. 11-6 the final, and it's off to Kansas City.
That's the type of offense we needed today. Garcia guts through it, gets his victory and everything, but what a game by the offense led by Carpenter. Outstanding. Don't forget how to hit going into Kansas City.
6 home runs hit by the Cardinals today. 11-6 our final. 17 hits total. And we have the post-game show with all the news and analysis. Comes your way next.
The Cardinals salvage a game in Seattle. Rick Ankiel joins me to break it all down from our Fox Sports Midwest studios at Ballpark Village. Here's what's coming up. After losing a pair of one-run games, the Cards break out the long ball. 6 homers. We've got the highlights. Plus, Jaime Garcia's been in shutdown mode during interleague play. Rick explains why he wasn't quite in shutdown mode today. Big win for the Cardinals. 11-6 the final. Missouri Lottery. Cardinals Live is coming up next.
Welcome to Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live.
The Cards hit 6, count them, 6 homers today as they salvage a final game in Seattle. It was Jerko and Pham going back-to-back in the 7th. The Cardinals tie a franchise record with 13 extra base hits, and they go on to rattle Seattle, the final 11-6. Hello, everybody, and welcome inside our Fox Sports Midwest studios at Ballpark Village for the Sunday Fun Day edition of Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live alongside former Cardinal Rick Ankiel. I'm Jim Hayes. First 2 games of the series, not so much fun. Today was.
Oh, let's just call it a blast. No pun intended. Wham Bam, thank you, Tommy Pham. He gets 2. Carp gets 2. Jerko, Holiday. Guess what? We talk so much about how much we do damage the 7th inning or later. We hit 6 home runs, 5 of those coming in the 7th inning or later.
Second time this season the Cards have hit 6 homers in a game. Only 2 other times in the last 15 years have they hit 6 homers, but the Cards got a crank in today.
They sure did. What a fun game to watch. I like watching offense. We always talk about that. Seattle ends up with 2 homers, and we come back with 6, just doing damage. And we talk about it's not how far, it's how many, but some of these were how far. We were really blasting those out.
Jerko gets in on the action. Tommy Pham had 2 today. This is one of them. He went back-to-back with Jerko in the 7th inning. Cardinals weren't nearly done. 8th inning. Matt Holliday, the DH, his 14th. of the season. So you think, all right, that's a lot of power. But the Cardinals, again, weren't done. How about a second helping for Tommy Pham?
Blazer.
A line drive home run. And then Matt Carpenter wants a double helping as well as he goes yard. 6 home runs. And we mentioned the 13 extra base hits as a franchise record. But this is the kind of power the Cardinals have showed all season long. Didn't really see it in the first couple of games, but this is why the Cardinals as a team feel like they're never out of any ball game, because at any time that power surge can come.
No doubt, and it seems like a lot of it comes in the 7th inning or later, which makes this team so dangerous. On paper, you look at that, the way the bullpens are so specialized nowadays, you would think that's impossible, but somehow they're getting it done in those pressure situations with bullpens. When you look at Seattle, we know their bullpen was thin. When you look at this whole series on paper, you would think it sets up in our favor, but we lost 2. We were able to salvage that one today.
Yeah, the Mariners keep their brooms in the closet. We head right back to the Emerald City. Scotty Warman catching up moments ago with Matt Carpenter, our Mid-America Chevy dealer, player of the game. Scotty?
All right, Jim, we are with Matt Carpenter. 2 home runs today, and you saw the new pitcher, the reliever in the 6th inning. Take us through that at bat.
You know, just trying to do what I always do. You know, coming into the at bat, looking to you know, be patient, get a good pitch to hit, and you know, was able to have a good at bat there and put a good swing on it.
You came close from almost getting 3 home runs today. You fell short in the 2nd.
Yeah, you know, guy made a great play. You know, but sometimes that happens.
The home runs seem to be contagious with you guys. 6 home runs in the game today in the victory.
Yeah, you know, guys swung the bat really well today. Offense is really coming into its own, and you know, Tommy Pham had a great day. That was a big lift for us, so it's fun to watch.
Obviously a big win for you guys, suffering 2 tough losses on Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah, you know, coming out today and getting this win to finish this series on a good note, definitely a good thing.
As we let you go here, one last one. Tommy Pham, you mentioned him. You ever seen a guy take his hat off and do the multitasking to make that grab out there earlier today?
No, that was a first for me, for sure. But he caught the ball, and like I said, he had a great day at the plate.
Matt, great day for you. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
Guys, there's Matt Carpenter as we send it back to you.
Thanks, Scotty. All right, the Cardinals wasting no time jumping on James Paxton in the first. Matt Carpenter leading off the game with a triple. The next batter, Aledmus Diaz, drills a double to right center. And the Cardinals take a 1-0 lead very early on. Top 2, game now tied at 1. Carpenter making a bid for his 12th homer of the year. But Franklin Gutierrez has other ideas, goes back on the ball. It's a nice grab.
Great catch. Great catch. Great focus, great concentration. Nice grab.
Very nice catch. Bottom of the inning, Seattle takes their first lead of the day. Sean O'Malley doubles home Dae-Ho Lee. And it's 2-1 Mariners. But runs weren't scarce for the Cardinals in this one. Later in the inning, bases loaded for Robinson Cano. Cano hits a sharp grounder to second. Carpenter makes the play. Garcia limiting the damage 2-1 after 2. Mariners put up another run in the 3rd. Nelson Cruz, solo shot. His 19th of the year. Boy, he's got power. And it's 3-1 Seattle. Top 5, Matt Holliday would get one back for the Cardinals. Gets the double to left. Diaz scores easily. RBI number 43 for Holliday, who is coming on offensively. Makes it 3-2. Next batter up is Stephen Piscotty. A cue shot over the first baseman, just Dates fair. Piscotty winds up at second. Holliday scores. And this game is tied at 3 apiece. The hit parade continues with Brandon Moss. He laces one down the line and into the corner and just keeps running. Look at his speed. Speedy Moss with his second triple of the year. 4-3 Cardinals. They add on another run on an error. 5-3 midway through 5. In the 6th, Carpenter hits one that no Seattle outfielder is going to catch. Carp a solo shot. His 12th of the year. Makes it 6-3. Carp's second career game with a triple and a home run. That is if you're scoring at home. But in the bottom of the inning, 2-on, Kevin Segras enters the game, replacing Jaime Garcia, and surrenders a game-tying 3-run homer. Gutierrez is 9th of the year, and suddenly it's tied at 6. We move to the top of the 7. And that's when the long ball power really kicks in.
Yeah, look, he
Jet
hangs
jerk.
this curveball.
He
He
hangs.
hangs this curveball to him. Up comes Tommy Pham. He thinks, you know what? I hung that. I think I can throw a better one. Tommy Pham stays tight. He throws the curveball on the outer black. He stays tight, gets him 1-2.
So the law firm of Jerko and Pham, back-to-backers, Cardinals on top 8-6. Bottom of the inning, Chris Iannetta trying to tie it up, hits one to deep center. Tommy Pham removes the cap, shields his eyes with it, and makes the catch.
What a
That's
catch.
solid, right?
That's beautiful. You got to make adjustments on the fly. It must have been a tough sun right there. He pulls off his hat because his hand wouldn't have worked and gets it done.
Top 8, Matt Holliday. Boom.
Boom!
His 14th, and this made it 9-6. And there's more yet to come. Holliday joins the home run parade. Then later on, Tommy Pham, his second. And not to be outdone, Matt Carpenter would like to double his home run pleasure, and he gets his second. That made it 11-6, and that would be your final score. Cardinals win 11-6. They get out of Dodge with a win. And for the Cardinals, didn't want to get swept in Seattle, especially heading to Kansas City. That's, always a tough series in Kansas City. 2 games there, then 2 games with the Royals in St. Louis. And the Cardinals get it done. 11-6, they win. Tommy Pham, his second career multi-homer game. Again, kind of impressive. Second time this season the Cardinals have hit 6 home runs in a game. Over the past 15 years prior, they'd only done it 2 times. So that says a lot about the power that this team has.
That's doing damage. And as we mentioned again, 5 of those in the 7th inning or later. Bullpens in the National League, American League, watch out when the birds come to town.
Let's get back to the broadcast booth in Seattle and the guys who called today's game. Danny Mack and Al Roboski standing by with some final thoughts. Gentlemen.
Well, the Cardinals salvage a game in this series with 17 hits, 13 extra base hits, 6 home runs. A lot of offense provided by Matt Carpenter.
Well, Matt Carpenter got things started. Remember, he hit a triple the first time up. And then in the 2nd inning, he thought he was going to get a home run. But Gutierrez, very good outfielder, goes back. And debatable whether that would have gone over the wall or not. But it would have been an extra base hit. So denied in the 2nd. But in the 6th inning, he does get his first home run. It's this one, and then he wasn't through. In the 9th, he gets another home run. Those are 2 of the 6 Cardinal home runs today. What a convincing fashion. They win this ball game and now go on to take on the world champion, Kansas City Royals. Should be fun the next 4 games.
6:30 on the air tomorrow. It'll be Danny Duffy and Adam Wainwright. Hope you join us as we send it back to you.
As we head to break, all 6 Cardinal homers in condensed form. This is a thing of beauty. Sit back and enjoy. 6 Cardinal homers.
Sexy.
They beat Seattle.
Cardinals Live is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery.
Are you kidding me? The Cardinals are one of the best hitting teams in baseball when facing the fastball, hitting .326 against a fastball. So, Rick, they face Paxton today, a fastball pitcher, a very good fastball, but the Cardinals are ready, and they jumped on the Paxton fastball early.
Yeah, they did. Here we see in the 1st inning, they get 4 hits on Paxton fastball. Let's take a look at him here. Carp with the first one. Diaz with the second, drives it to right center. Oh, that ball's flying for us today. Here we go with Wong, base hit up the middle. Nice to see him going that way. And Fryer with the base hit. Broken bat, but he sends it through there nicely.
Paxton would adjust and went from fastball to cutter, had better success with it. Right?
Yeah, he did. He adjusts. He gets 5 outs on the cutter. The first one there was hit pretty hard by Carpenter there. A good catch by Gutierrez. But here's Diaz taking it. Didn't get a good look at it. And if you watch this pitch, this is a nasty pitch. I mean, he throws from that 3/4 angle now. That coming down, and then it's almost like a slider, but at 89 miles an hour, that's tough. Wong flying out to shallow center. Weak contact there. It's a good pitch. That's a tough at bat for him. Fryer there with the same thing. It's like a slider the way it's coming down.
Our Don Brown deal is the Cardinals' 5th inning, and they kind of ambushed it.
Yeah, this time he tries to mix it up, but we've already dialed in our sights. We're hitting both. We hit the fastball, we hit the cutter. extra base hits all over. 8 batters faced in that inning, 4 hits for us, all extra base hits.
So at this point, double, then
Double, then triple.
and the triple by the Speedy Moss.
Speedy Moss, he does it all.
And the Cardinal offense was feasting today.
Yeah, it was. Here he goes. He could have stopped the second, made it a lot of doubles. But
Well, you wanted to see double.
double.
But you know what? When you got that kind of speed,
And in the score of that game, he has to go to third base.
fun to see the bats come alive. And again, we talked about it early, but this team has the kind of lineup that even in a series where they're shut down for a couple of games, at some point, you know, they're going to break out.
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, I mean, we talked about this before in spring training. We all thought it was going to be the pitching again, but the offense has been a pleasant surprise, more than a pleasant surprise, and I think it's surprised everyone.
The power production is somewhat startling. The Cardinals win the series finale in Seattle. Let's head inside the visiting manager's office at Safeco Field for Mike Matheny's post-game thoughts, brought to you by the Sheet Metal Workers Local 36. Here's Mic'd Up.
Yeah, nice to see the power show up, and you know, Jaime did what he had to stay in the game, keep us in it, and thought he got better as he went. But you know, bullpen came in and helped out. But you know, this was a story about the offense, and we were hoping we'd see it, and happy we did.
And you've done, I think it's 27 now multi-home run games. It's like contagious. Once one guy does it, it's just a trickle-down effect.
You know, it's just fun to watch, and you know, like you said, different guys doing it too. You're watching Tommy have a big day. Carp almost had 3, just really making nice passes at the ball, and Holly and Jed. I mean, all the way around. Just you know, good to see other guys do it, so you don't just throw it on one person's shoulders.
Have you ever seen a guy take his cap off to try to make a catch out in the outfield? Like
That's old school. Yeah, that's pre-sunglass days, I think. But that was a big spot, you know, right after we, you know, we give up the lead, and to get to a spot where it looks like they might have got it enough to bring it right back to tied. It seemed like it was going to be one of those days, but Tommy did a nice job getting underneath of it and using his equipment.
You got the call overturned too, Mike. Was that pivotal, at least early on in today's game?
Yeah, I think so. Anytime you put a guy at third base right there in that situation, whether it's 2 outs or not, changes the complexity. And you have a guy like Jaime that's bouncing a lot of balls. Eric Fryer did a great job of keeping the ball in front of him, but you know, putting a guy on third even with 2 is a situation where Jaime might not be able to make his best pitches. So nice play by Eric all the way around.
Back-to-back home runs there in the 7th. What sort of momentum shift does that offer after giving up the turnover?
Yeah, it was definitely trending in their direction. No, just a shame that couldn't hold on to that for Jaime, and got to a spot where, yeah, they made the most of their opportunity, and it definitely did shift the momentum and the fact that we needed to do something offensively, and the guys responded very well. Nice to see, you know, Jed be able to use the big part of the field, and that's a long ways he hit it. And Tommy, both of those. The second one was a laser.
How different does this feel? I mean, compared to years past, we've talked a lot about the close games and how it's almost like you have to put 3 hits together to rally like that.
We've had a lot of those here lately, too. I mean, we've had as many one-run games over the last probably 10 days as anybody in baseball, I would venture to say. And we're going to have periods like that. But when you have a relentless offense, you know, that's just it's a great trait to have, whether you're deploying it right then or not. Just knowing that you have that in your bag, I think just changes the whole dynamic of our club.
Bo was getting ready to close today.
I would have been in there, yeah, until it got to 5. At 4, it was going to be O, and at 5, thought we'd give Bowman an opportunity, and then still have a little fresher for tomorrow.
What did you see from Diaz throughout this series? I mean, whether it's the walk on Friday night, 3 doubles today, yesterday, had a key hit him, and the win-loss record might mask it a little bit. It's been a tremendous series.
Yeah, and I think he's just been playing very consistently. I think at the beginning of this month, we saw a little lull. Still figuring out a way to get a hit or get a nice, put a quality at bat together to get a walk. but now he's driving the ball again, and you just watch how the ball's jumping off his bat. It's kind of odd. You see outfielders taking some strange routes. The ball he hit to right center today, the ball just kept carrying. The home run he hit the other day, same thing. He's in a good spot. Try to keep him there.
You've been manager for the best that Matt Carpenter's had. Have you seen a streak like this from him before?
Yeah, it's that baby. Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, Kenley brought some good things to his psyche for sure, and his swing looks pretty. And some of the loudest hits, balls just jumping for him, and love the way he's going about it.
Not a ballpark.
Pretty sure Mike Matheny had a beard pregame. 2 homers by Tommy Pham, but his eye shading technique may have stolen the show today. More coming up.
Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by your local Volkswagen dealer.
Yadier Molina, best defensive catcher in baseball. Thing about Yadi is he works, he starts. Okay, so Yadier Molina, 66 starts. It's not even close.
No, it's not. It's amazing how much this guy plays.
And Eric Fryer, on the other hand, doesn't get many opportunities, but a lot more. But you couldn't ask more. A lot more than people would expect from him. His numbers are good. His defense is good. Everyone raves about his work ethic. And today, he got a start, and he did some good things.
I mean, he is making the most out of his opportunities. He's hitting .368. His OBP is over 400. This guy's playing defense. Threw a guy out of third today. I mean, he's having a great season. He's been a great addition to this ball club. It'll be a tough call between him or Brian Pena.
Yeah, I mean, that we're getting word that Pena may be close to returning to the Cardinals. That could happen when the Cardinals are in Kansas City. We don't know yet, but certainly Eric Fryer has done everything the Cardinals have asked of him and a lot more. But Brian Pena's a guy that they know can hit at the major league level. They would like to bring him back, so whether or not that happens sooner than later, we'll have to wait and see, but it looks that way. Let's talk about Aledmus Diaz, because you talk about a road trip. This kid has been outstanding, and I know every time we're watching the game, sitting there and watching what unfolds before us, you're just raving about this guy. He's just fun to watch.
Yeah, 3 doubles today, 3 for 5, 3 doubles with a walk, an RBI, a run. The most impressive thing that we've been talking about is his ability to go deep into those counts, 8-pitch at-bats, 11-pitch at-bats. I mean, as a rookie, that is so impressive to be able to get deep in there like that and stay calm and be able to be successful in those situations.
And pretty good road trip. If you look at the number, 6 games, 10 hits, 10 for 22, 455 batting average, 5 extra base hits, 8 RBIs, and 6 walks. And we talked about this too, not just the production, but the at-bats, because he's going deep into counts, and we saw that in Chicago with Arrieta.
Yep.
Made him work. Long at bat, all of a sudden Arrieta's pitch counts up. He has to come out of the game. There's other ways to contribute.
Yeah, you would expect this from a veteran, but this guy's a rookie. We talked about this before. I think playing in Cuba has played a big role in that. That's a really talented league down there. He comes here, he fits in nicely, and he's able to get those things done. I'm very impressed with him, and I know Cuba is too. They're a proud people. They have a lot to be proud of with him.
We got plenty more to get to, including sound from this guy, Tommy Pham.
Redbirds with you anywhere using the Fox Sports Go app on your phone or tablet.
The 2-1. Driven out to right center. That's well hit. Martin can't get to it. One hops over the wall. Ground rule double. Aledmus Diaz in a 1-0 St. Louis lead. The 1-2. Diaz is running, and that's a base hit out to left field. Down into the corner. Diaz can walk home. And it is a fair ball. Just inside the line, off the bat of Piscotty. Holiday scores, and this game is tied. Back-to-back-to-back doubles for the Cardinals. Moss rips it into right field. extra bases here. Piscotty will score. Brandon Moss on his way to third. Moss standing up with a triple. Cardinals have the lead, and it's 4-3. Hit to third, and an error on Seager. His 7th of the year, his 2nd in this series, and a run scores to make it 5-3 Cardinals.
Strikeouts.
Carpenter, a high drive into deep right field. Gutierrez won't get this one. Matt Carpenter, his 12th home run, adds to the Cardinal lead. 43 home runs hit today in Major League Baseball. 43. And Jerko may add to it. Out to center. It is gone! Over the wall in center field. Jed Jerko, his 7th of the year.
Maybe had to
and that's well hit. Out to right field. Did they go back-to-back? Yes! Home run Tommy Pham. First of the year. Back-to-back solo shots. Jed Jerko, Tommy Pham. 2-run lead, St. Louis. 3-2 pitch, and Holiday hits it a ton. Center field, track, wall, it's another one. Holiday goes deep. The Cardinals with 4 home runs this afternoon. And that's well hit down the left field line, and it's gone. Tommy Pham, his 2nd home run of the day. That's 5 home runs hit for the Cardinals today. That's well hit. Deep right. It is gone. 6 of them today for the Cardinals. The 2nd for Matt Carpenter, a long one into right field.
And some bird seeds for your enjoyment. Matt Carpenter, number 65, career home run number 65, ties Red for 38th most in Cardinal history. The Cardinals with 6 homers, 4 doubles, and 2 triples in a game for 2nd time in franchise history. And big boy stuff. Matt Holiday, home run today, 150th as a Cardinal, 12th most in franchise history. Tommy Pham had a couple of homers. Let's head back to Seattle and hear from Tommy Pham.
Feels good, to finally be able to, have a couple good at-bats today, in comparison to what I've been doing, feels good.
Good to get a win for the team, too, right?
Yeah, that as well. We've had some tough luck lately, but, whenever you can win, especially on a travel day, happy flight.
Well, been with this team for a little bit, just come back off the injury. It's almost contagious how one guy hits a home run and the next thing you know, it filters down.
It seems like that on this team. They come in bunches, it seems like. So I'm just glad to be a part of it.
All right, take us through the catch for each of your guys.
Earlier this year in AAA, I actually had a ball hit me. Same exact play where I was going to my right in the sun. And when the ball came down, it came down in the sun. So I didn't want that to happen again. So instead of using my glove, I used my hat. And Wayno said he hasn't seen it since high school. So I'm glad I can impress Wayno.
Where did it hit you? Where did the ball hit you?
It actually hit my glove. Like, I didn't see it. It was coming down and just hit my glove. So
you think you might do it again then with the hat?
I just didn't want it to happen again. So I used the hat instead of my glove.
You've never done that before?
No. First time. So, they tell us in spring training, there's many ways, and that's one of them. So I used it today. And it's a big thing, so I didn't think it would get this much attention.
3-1 pitch, driven out to center field. Fowler going back. He'll look up. This game is tied! Peralta puts it in play. Little squibber hit to second, and the throw is wide, and the Cardinals win. Borges scores.
That's the ITD milestone. 1 year ago today, Cardinals with a dramatic win over the Cubs at Busch. Greg Garcia with a game-time pinch hit home run in the 8th. In the 10th, Johnny Peralta puts the ball in play. Cubs can't get anyone out. Peter Borges scores the game-winning run. Cards take it 3-2. At that point, the Redbirds held an 8-game lead in the division over Chicago. How about the Cubs today? Cubs at the Marlins, and they ran into some very, very good pitching. Jose Fernandez dominating 7 innings, 1-run ball today. He struck out 13. He was sharp. Marlins win it. The final 6-1. The Cubs have now lost 6 of 7. So the updated standings look like this. Cards 9 back of the Cubs, and Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, Cincinnati all kind of floundering around, but lots of time to play if you want to make a move on the Cubs. Right now, the Cubs taking on some water, losing 6 of 7.
Absolutely. And we've been playing well. I like what we're doing. The pitching has been good with all the quality starts. The offense came alive today. Let's hope we can go into KC, eat some of their barbecue at home, and take them for their papers.
Yeah, I'm with that. Cards do their part. They win today. The final tally, 11-6. When we come back, we'll hear from Jaime. Stay with us.